The following program is an exclusive presentation of Bright House Networks. The Bright House Networks High School Football Game of the Week pregame show. Sponsored by CSUB Athletics.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. High School Football Game of the Week, Week 6, exclusively on Bright House Networks Bakersfield. I'm Vance Palm, joined by Paul Press and Brian Adams. The rivalry, North versus South, the geographical equivalent of the Civil War. North High School hosting South High School. Get this, everybody. The record right now stands 22-2. Something has to give tonight. Brian Adams, you had a chance to be at the South High campus this past weekend. Tell us your thoughts.
Well, I got a chance to meet with Coach Wren, and he's super excited about his team. They had the 50th anniversary of the school, got a win on Saturday. He wants to carry that momentum into this week and try to get his first in his career 2 games in a row on a winning streak.
Let's check out the interview. Oh, sorry, bud. Let's check out the interview.
We're here at South High. We're going to talk to Coach Wren today about his program. I know you're excited about it. Last year is your first year here. You got the beautiful weight room. And let's talk to us about the rebuilding process you're going through.
Well, you know, we came in and we knew that there was going to be a little bit of a challenge. You know, South High struggled in recent years, but we came in with a plan. I felt like we came in with a good wealth of experience, and you know, fortunately for us, the kids have bought in and they've worked hard, and it's made it a little bit easier to deal with the struggles. You know, most of the time when you're struggling like this, guys really don't show up to work as hard as our kids are working right now, and I think that kind of paid off finally for us last Saturday.
Expand on that a little bit and just tell us what you feel has done for your team.
Well, you know, I mean, anytime you've had a team that's struggled to get themselves in the win column, you know, a win goes a long ways. You know, I mean, you've played ball and you understand how that is. You know, the excitement around the program is a little bit stronger. All of a sudden, some of those injuries don't hurt quite as bad. And you know, I think probably more than anything is the kids now have a stronger belief in their own abilities. And I think, you know, we've been talking all week long about how we've got to practice and play like we believe. And I think it's a little bit easier to do that once you get a win under your belt.
Now, one thing that I know that my father was a South High Rebel, so I've had to hear about South High through the years. And I think a lot of people, especially some of the young kids, don't understand the rich tradition. This is the 50th year of the school's anniversary, but they've had a wealth of great, not just athletes, but great teams.
Well, that's true. You know, I'm an alumni of South High, graduated class of 1987, and you know, that was part of the appeal for me coming back here to coach. And you know, of course, there's, you know, I mean, the list is as long as my arm. The great athletes that played before me, some of the great athletes I played with, and then also a lot of the athletes that I've had the opportunity to coach. So, you know, for us right now, what we're talking about is being more consistent with what we do on the field. You know, we don't want to be known as a school that had some great athletes or had some great teams. We've talked a lot to the kids about building a legacy and trying to be a program that's consistent from year to year, and that's really what we're trying to do right now.
When to get that consistency, I know one thing that we talk about on the sideline is coaching staff staying together. And I know you guys know each other well, and I think that's going to give these kids a solid nucleus. Just expand on your coaching staff in this group.
Well, you know, I mean, obviously I have, you know, a wealth of experience in Scott Douglas. He's my old coordinator, and he, you know, we had the opportunity to coach together elsewhere, and, you know, a little bit of a role reversal coming over here, but I have a ton of respect for him, obviously, and his knowledge, and probably more important than his knowledge, the way he treats the kids. I was lucky enough that when I came back to South High, there were still coaches here that I had worked with previously. Emery Nieto, longtime South High assistant. In fact, I was one of the coaches that helped bring him on initially. We've got Tyson Jones, who actually played for me as a boy, you know, because I coached in the earlier part of my career and had the opportunity to coach him. So, I mean, it's more than just coaches, you know, they're friends. And, you know, that I think that goes a long way. I think you're right, Brian. I mean, when you have a friendship that, you know, encompasses the coaching responsibility, it really does make a difference that the kids can feel and see.
Talk to us a little bit about the matchup against North, what you think they're going to do to you offensively or defensively, and how you can counter them.
Well, you know, I mean, they're a wing T system, although, you know, they've got a little more speed than maybe North High traditionally has, and that's kind of put them in a situation where they're outside the scope of a normal wing T set. You know, they're running some speed option type stuff, and they're getting to the edge quickly on some speed sweeps. But, you know, we think that it's going to be a pretty good matchup for us physically. you know, I have a ton of respect for Mark Camps. I know, you know, a great guy. I know he works hard. You know, his staff up there has really worked hard to get their kids ready. You know, we've talked a lot through the off season. You know, we both took the jobs at the same time, and we both kind of suffered together a little bit through a rough start. So, you know, I consider Mark a friend, and, you know, I know that his kids are going to be well prepared. I know that they're going to be gunned up and ready to go, and we're going to hopefully match their intensity. And, you know, our plan is to come out and physically perform to the best of our abilities and let the chips fall. You know,
if they perform that well, you'll have that sword back here on campus.
Absolutely. You know, you know, the sword's been gone for quite a while, and we have every intention of bringing it home.
All right. Well, good luck this Friday.
Thank you.
All right, Coach.
Welcome back to the CSUB halftime pregame show. Sorry about that, Brian. This offense for South High had a nice game last week, got things rolling. Tell us some of the players.
Well, the guy you're going to look on is Roland Myers. He's moved from tight end to tailback, and since he's been there, they have some confidence now in the offense. He's a kid they feel could play on any team in the city.
Let's meet the offense for South High School.
Left tackle, sophomore. Gilbert Caswell, left guard, senior.
Kiefer Davenport, center, junior.
Renee Carrion, right guard, sophomore.
Sammy Ty, right tackle, senior.
Fernando Gutierrez, fullback, senior.
Roland Myers, tailback, senior. Blaine Davidson, tight end, junior.
Shannon James, wide receiver, junior.
Roger Hebert, wide receiver, sophomore.
James Armenta, quarterback, junior.
Brian, a game like tonight, this rivalry, so many years, one thing we can pretty much bet on is be some hard hitting. Let's talk about the defense for South.
Well, on defense for South, you got to be careful about these guys going both ways. Are they going to get fatigued? Can they keep their composure? If they can do that and read their keys, they might have a chance tonight to take home that sword.
South High defense.
Rodney Cruz, defensive tackle, senior. Sammy Ty, nose guard, senior.
Blaine Davidson, defensive tackle, junior.
Jose Velasquez, outside linebacker, junior.
Roland Myers, middle linebacker, senior.
Fernando Gutierrez, outside linebacker, senior.
Levi Chavez, strong safety, junior. Shannon James, corner, junior.
Russell Webster, free safety, junior.
Preston Thomas, corner, senior.
Thank you, Brian, and for sure, best dressed interviewer category for the year. Looking good over there. Paul Press, North High School, they've been hanging on to the sword that is given to the winning team of this contest, this big rivalry. North High School now really needs to take care of business against the South High team that's coming off a big, big win.
Yeah, very, very big win for South High. North High's had a really tough pre-league schedule, playing some of the biggest teams around, and they're trying to get what we call get off the snide tonight and get their first victory. Their one victory from last year was South High, so they're looking to do that. Had a great interview with Coach Camps. It was awesome. Let's take a look.
Welcome, Bright Health sports fans, to another edition of the Cal State Athletics pregame show. Today I'm on the beautiful campus of North High School. Alongside me is head coach Mark Camps. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Hey, a little bit about the North High Stars. Right now, you haven't got a victory yet, but that's because of this pre-league schedule you have. My goodness, I was looking down, Coach, and you really have a tough schedule. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about who you've played so far and a little bit about them?
Well, we opened up with Edison here, and they're one of the strong football teams in the Valley. Very, very good, a lot of team speed, and we played them well here. Obviously, we didn't win, but I thought our kids fought hard, 7-0 game at half, and I think we came out of that game with some good things, even though it is a loss, and that I thought our kids got some confidence from that game. I thought we played good defensive football, got to see some things on offense that we kind of build on going that second game, which also was a home game. That was East High, and that was a shootout to a certain extent, but I thought we played a good half of defense that game, and we did some good things on offense and special teams. But, you know, it was a disappointing loss, and, you know, they played a good game and did some good things. But I thought we got some things out of that were positive. And then we went to El Diamante, and they're definitely a fine football team, very, very physical. And the one thing for our kids is getting to see how physical those guys were. I mean, you know, they're about as physical as probably anybody we're going to play. So you got that out of that game. And then we played Hoover, and it was a close game, and turnovers really killed us in that football game. But another good football game, but again, disappointing not to come away with a victory there. And then this last week we played Buchanan up there on the road, and we led at half, and they did some good things on offense in the second half, and we didn't execute the way we needed to, and we didn't win that football game. But overall, I'd say with the preseason schedule, obviously it's tough and frustrating not to have a win out of those 5 games, but you try to take the good and look for good in every game. But at the same time, I think our kids are disappointed because their expectations were, I think they felt we could honestly win some of those games, and I want them to be disappointed. I want the expectations to be high, and so rather than make those excuses, a tough schedule, we just got to keep getting better, and eventually you got to find a way to do it. And we didn't do that, but we got a new season ahead of us, so hopefully that'll change things a little.
Yeah, but I'm pretty impressed. El Diamante, they were Valley champs last year. A couple years before that, East High, Valley champs, you know, and it goes on and on that list. That is quite impressive and tough pre-league. Hey, a little bit about yourself. This is your second year here at North High, building the program, getting it back up, a lot of red on. You know, I see kids, I hear good things out in the community. Kids are still pumped up and stuff. Tell us a little bit about you, your background.
I went to high school here locally, West High School, and then I played at Bakersfield College. I finished at Cal State Bakersfield with my undergraduate degree, and I started coaching at Ridgeview. Started coaching in '98 at Ridgeview, and I was there for 6 years, and then I was at East High for a couple years, and then this is my second year now here at North. And you know, it's great. Obviously, this year as compared to maybe year one, I know the kids better, feel a little bit more comfortable with the personnel. That first year, you're getting the feel for the kids and where you want to have them, and they're getting to know you and kind of how you want to do things. But I think this year things are much more better, I think, for both sides, from their point of view and from mine, as far as kind of understanding each other and what we're trying to get accomplished. So it's a good thing.
Well, I'm hearing lots of good things about you being over here, and I think personally, I think North High did a great job hiring you. I think it was the right hire. Let's turn our focus to tonight's game. South High coming off a big victory Saturday. Last Saturday they had their big 50-year reunion, big crowd. They played inspired football. You know, they don't have a whole lot of victories over there. They have a second-year head coach. Kind of a lot of similarities. On film, you had a chance to watch a little bit of film already. What do you see?
Well, I got to see them on film, and actually I was at the game because they played Saturday, so I see similarities with both programs and kind of the status of where we're kind of at, but they seem to want to come out and, like you said, inspire. They want to come out and be physical. That's what I kind of saw on Saturday, and I think that they're trying to kind of establish this is how we're going to play football, and I think you really saw that with the way their running backs and offensive line were playing offensively. I thought they wanted to get out and be really, really physical with Shafter. And I think defensively they've kind of settled into kind of the scheme they want to run, and they got kids flying around. So, I mean, I expect it to be a good football game, and they're impressive. And obviously with that win, they're going to be coming in wanting to start out league the right way, and with the confidence I think they got from this last Saturday, I mean, it's going to be quite a football game. But they're on a high note. There's no doubt about it.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be quite a football game. So does Bright House. That's why we're here covering it. One last question before I let you get out of here and get going to your team. Friday night, Stars, North High Stars. Who are some of the stars or some of the team leaders, let's say, that are going to have to step up and really perform to get this W tonight?
Well, I think one guy we want to see really play well is Julian Dean. He's running back, and he's a special teams guy that does the return stuff for us, and he can be an electrifying player at times. And so we want to see if we can make sure we can get him the ball and kind of let him do his thing. You know, the way games have went, we haven't gotten him maybe the ball as much as we've wanted to or should, and so he's one guy we look to really give us kind of a spark. Tanner Webb, we want to see him both sides of football, quarterback position. He might play some running back possibly, linebacker for us. So he's kind of a leader. He's a 3-year varsity guy, so we expect him to do lead on both sides of the football. And then up front, offensively, it'll be very important for Derek Carnes, the center, to play well with some of the things we're going to do this week and the kind of defense that they play. He will be a spotlight guy for us as far as what we need to do this game. And John Northrup, he plays tight end and also defensive end, both sides of the football for us. And he's been a real physical presence at both positions. We'll need a big game out of him this week. There's no doubt about it.
Wow, Coach. Thanks for the insight. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. There you go, Bright House sports fans. Another good interview. Great head coach. Great hire. Let's see what they can do tonight, North High Stars.
Welcome back, everybody. We're on the field for the CSUB pregame show, high school football game of the week. Paul, thanks for that interview. Quick thought about the offense.
Well, two kids we need to watch out for, Tanner Webb, quarterback, and Julian Dean. He's going to be handling the rock for North High tonight. Both of them very exciting and explosive players.
Let's get to meet the North High offense.
Trevor Steele, right tackle, sophomore.
Keith Liggett, right guard, senior.
Derek Carnes, center, senior.
Ruben Suarez, left guard, junior.
Matt Bowen, left tackle, senior.
Sam Music, right half, senior.
Julian Dean Johnson, left half, junior.
Seth Vlock, fullback, junior.
John Northrup, tight end, junior.
Daniel Terry, wide receiver, senior. Tanner Webb, quarterback, senior.
I touched on it tonight, defense. Who's going to have the stamina? Who's going to be able to stick with it, the defense for North High?
Well, I tell you what, North High is same guys. They go both ways over here. They have play offense and play defense, so it's really going to be a war of nutrition out here tonight. They're going to have to swarm and try to stop Myers. That's the key.
Let's meet the North High defense.
Matt Bowen, defensive end, senior.
Brandon Core, defensive tackle, junior.
John Northrup, defensive end, junior.
Carlos Leal, inside linebacker, junior.
Keith Liggett, inside linebacker, senior.
Tanner Webb, outside linebacker, senior. Daniel Terry, cornerback, senior.
Aaron Young, corner, senior.
Nathan Vlock, safety, sophomore.
Great job, Paul. Thank you. Well, before we leave and get to our business, let's swap it up real quick here. Now, your coach camps for North High, Brian.
Well, first of all, I want to put pressure, 8 men in the box, force South High to pass the ball, take rolling out of the game in terms of making an impact. On offense, just want to play good, sound, fundamental football. Get your blocks man on man, let the backs run.
Thank you, Brian Adams. Paul Press, your coach Wren.
It's very simple. Guys, play like you did last Saturday, 6 days ago. Play with that type of passion, that type of momentum, and we'll get the sword back and we'll take it home.
Paul Press, Brian Adams, I'm Vance Palm. You've been watching the CSUB pregame show right here on Bright House Network's Bakersfield. Back in a moment with one of the oldest rivalries in Kern County High School football, the North High Stars hosting the South High School Rebels, 22-22-2. That's the record. Back in a moment.
Bakersfield, are you ready for game day? The CSUB Roadrunners are ready to take on all new NCAA Division I opponents. This is runner basketball like never before. Buy season tickets today beginning at just $100 for a full season of D1 hoops against teams like Oregon State, Utah State, San Jose State, Fresno State, UOP, Long Beach State, Pepperdine, and more. Go to GoRunners.com for a full schedule or call 654-BLUE to reserve your seats for this historic Roadrunner basketball season. Get ready for a fun and exciting season of runner hoops.
With Bright House Network's high-speed internet, you can download pictures or video in a flash. Unfortunately, Harry here is still on dial-up and has nothing better to do than wait.
No, I don't mind.
Clearly. What are you downloading there, buddy?
Just a really funny video my friend sent me.
Ooh, can't wait to see it.
Ooh, me either.
You know, Bright House offers speeds faster than dial-up or DSL with plans priced to fit both your needs and budget.
My budget?
Then you could spend your evenings watching these funny videos instead of waiting for them.
I like that.
Do more online with Bright House Network's high-speed internet.
Finding an attorney can be an intimidating process.
When you hire an attorney, you're looking for 3 things: trust, respect, results.
At Young & Nichols, we deliver all 3. Let our experienced attorneys get the best results for you.
We'll always respect you and give your case the attention it deserves.
And we're professionals you can trust.
We're here, we care, always for the people.
For over 3 decades, Flashco has been the local equipment company in Kern County. From major job sites to weekend projects, Flashco is the contractor's choice for equipment rental or purchase. We're also sign specialists using cutting-edge technology to create high-quality custom signage for anything. We're also the #1 local supplier of traffic control equipment, including signs, barricades, safety equipment, and more. Plus, our skilled mechanics will repair any make or model of heavy equipment. Flashco, we'll take care of it.
Bright House Networks presents Bright House Network's high school football game of the week. Sponsored by Barber Honda, Bakersfield College, CSUB Athletics, Flashco, in the law offices of Young and Nichols.
Welcome back, everybody. High school football game of the week. It's homecoming at North High School, and an inauspicious beginning for the North High School squad as the flag bearer came through the tunnel and got ran over, and the flag got dropped on the grass. I don't know what that really truly spells. Maybe nothing. I'm Vance Palm. I'm joined by Paul Press. Way up top here. Here comes the intro. Here comes North High School, and here comes the Well, Paul, things happen that you never really planned. But that flag is up and it's going again. High school football, game of the week, South High School at North High School. 46 times. Is that what it is? 46 times these schools have played, Paul?
Yeah, 22, 22, and 2. That's 46.
Something has to give tonight, Paul Press.
Yeah, one of these teams is going to have to jump out here and finally take that sword home. I think it's South High. You know, their head coach is a South High alumnus, Coach Wren, and I was talking to him during warm-ups, and he says, you know, I want to get that sword. I want to take it back where it belongs. According to him, it belongs back over at South High, but North High Stars, they have something to say about that. You know, I think they've had it for the last 4 years. And Coach Camps in his second year is really wanting to get this victory. This is one victory they had last year with South High, and they really need this victory tonight, get them going and get them ready for league.
Paul Press and I are way up high tonight. We are on top of one of the Flashco scissor lifts, and this is the high rent district up here. We've got Ray up here with us, and a lot of room. Looking forward to it. North High School will receive. South High will kick. Brian Adams is down on the field. It's a nice, brisk, breezy October night. And here we go. High school football game of the week, week 6. And the kick will be taken on the 10-yard line. It's going to be taken by Dean Johnson, Julian Dean Johnson. Oh! Johnson tripped up at about the 37-yard line, and look at this, Paul.
Yeah, this is the young man I was talking about in the pregame shows, Julian Dean Johnson, right here. He is a special teams player, probably one of the better ones in Kern County. When he gets the football in his hands, he can score, and that's exactly what South High did not want, is a big return like that. Exactly what North High Stars did want is a big return.
Be 1st and 10 for North High School on the 38-yard line. It's going to be fumble! Ooh, goodness. Tanner Webb gets hammered. The ball pops up, and an incredibly fortuitous bounce for North High School on the first play from the line of scrimmage. The ball ends up at the 50. Here you go, Pablo.
Yeah, right here, Tanner Webb runs this. He's going to read. It's an option, wing T option there. And boom, it comes out. And then luckily, number 44, John Northrup's right there. It lands in his hands. Northrup's another outstanding player for the Stars. We're going to see him quite a bit of action tonight. But right there, Tanner Webb showing that he is an athlete. Just got to hold on to that rock.
Wow, some hard hitting going on there. I mean, we talked about this in the pregame show. Both you and Brian both discussed the defenses from both teams, and you said, hey, it could be a battle of attrition tonight. Who lasts the longest? Brian said, who's going to be in the better shape in this mid-season time? One thing we always know in this rivalry, Paul, hard hitting, and it's already starting to manifest itself.
Yeah, there's no love lost between these guys. There's a lot of respect, but there's no love lost between these two teams. In history, I remember being a ball boy for South High way back in the day, and the games were intense.
Handoff goes to Sam Music. Was that to Music?
And he wasn't singing a very good tune right then. They didn't get a whole lot of yardage on that. Running the wing tee that Coach Snow used to be the head coach here at North High. He's now at Frontier. Brought the wing tee. Coach Camps comes in. He knows the wing tee. He keeps it installed. The young men know it. And they're running it to a perfection right now.
Webb hands the ball off to, Julian Dean Johnson looking for the end zone, and he's got it. Touchdown, Kern County, North High School. Came in motion, Paul, and had a head of steam by the time he had the ball in his hands, and all he needed was a gap, and he got a big one, and boom, he was gone. Julian Dean Johnson, Paul said he's a premier special teams player. Well, from the line of scrimmage, he's awfully special.
Yeah, he can move, and he's a true running back in that type of sense, is that he's got really strong legs, he's got good vision, and right there he can hit the hole and pop it for a big one, as we just saw.
Oh, high snap on the PAT. Now what's going to happen? Who knows? Look at this. Cameron Riley has a nice gun on him. Let's take a look at that touchdown, Paul. We see Dean Johnson in motion, and here's that big hole, and off he goes, Paul.
Yeah, he cuts back and running this wing tee. They run it off guard there in between the guard and the tackle. And you can see right there, he hits it so quick, and then once he gets out in open field, you're not really going to catch this young man. Unless maybe it's one of the corners from Liberty or something like that get an angle on him, because he is fast.
Well, here comes the botched PAT. This snap is way high, and then you get to see Cameron Riley pick it up. Watch this little flick. Nice tight spiral, just over the outreached hands of who else? Dean Johnson. So 6-0. 6-0 already, North High School on their first series. They score a touchdown. You're watching High School Football Game of the Week. We're brought to you by the CSUB Athletics pregame show, the law offices of Young and Nichols, our Bakersfield College halftime show, and of course Flashco for our instant replay, and Barber Honda, exclusive Barber Honda Player of the Game sponsorship. Kick is up, and looks like this one may go out of bounds. It does, and the flag will come out. It'll be assessed on the yardage for first down.
Well, right there, we got a good shot of the big running back, number 30, Roland Myers, back there to return this kick for the South High Rebels. Good-looking athlete. Watched him during warm-ups and stuff. We get a shot of him right there. That's Mr. Myers right there. And he's going to have a good night tonight, and I'm sure they're going to give him the ball probably 25, 28 times, somewhere in there. Kind of Emmitt Smith type of numbers, carries, as far as we've got to carry him all the way.
Justin Fosbender, Centennial High grad, Bakersfield Condors front office guru, and Kern County official.
Yeah, Fozzie, he's a good guy, man. Like Fosbender, very smart cat. Nice to see him out there running the show.
I said a couple weeks ago we had him on and said, hey man, we had you on the air. Can I get a copy? Can I get a copy?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Foz, you got it, my man. You got it. All right, the wind starts to pick up a little bit. This is going to be a nice little pitching wedge. It'll be handled out there by number 8, James Armenta. Armenta looking for a gap. Armenta still on his feet, up to the 35-yard line. So South High School will take over on the 35-yard line. Well, Brian Adams, North High School looks good first series, and Dean Johnson has got a nice running style.
Well, Vance, you're exactly right. North High came out. They got the good return off of Dean Johnson. Then they just got him on that counter play going across the grain. And with his speed, once he breaks out, there was nobody could catch him.
1st and 10, South High School. Quarterback for South High is James Armenta. Armenta, ooh, hit hard at the line of scrimmage. Was that Roland Myers?
Yeah. I believe so.
It was Roland Myers there, number 30, hopping up. He is hit hard. Woo!
Well, North High, the coaches had a chance, and I'm sure the players went and watched the South High game too last Saturday, since they played on Saturday. You know, it's nice to watch film, but there's nothing like getting a chance to watch your opponents 6 days before, in person, before you get to play them.
2nd and 8. Split about as far out as you can, wide receiver south. Roland. Adams hit at the line of scrimmage, gets maybe a yard, bring up about a 3rd and 8. Last week, South High School celebrated 50 years, and I happened to talk to some South High graduates maybe a few years back. They graduated, and they said, Vance, it was one of the most thrilling, nostalgic, fun memories of my life.
Yeah, I heard nothing but great things. I have a few friends that are South High Rebel graduates, and they said it was a great thing. I was hoping to get over there, but I actually got to spend some quality family time.
Hey, Myers. Brought down out there by Daniel Terry, but not until Roland Myers gets the first down. And talk about a good running style. I sure like his style. Looks like he might be a little gimpy already, though. Man, he gets through the hole here strong, Paul. Ball a little loose, but boy, he knows how to work those angles.
Yeah, that's you can see they're going Roland Myers left, Roland Myers right, Roland Myers getting to the right.
Fight.
Yeah, here they go, and they're probably going to give it to him all night long.
I formation. This time it's not Myers. This time it's Levi Chavez, and he's, sorry, not Chavez, but Fernando Gutierrez trying to get outside, but this North High pursuit wouldn't let him do it.
Yeah, you see right there in the Flashco replay, they put Gutierrez right there. They put him in the I-back formation, the tailback, and normally he's playing the fullback. Now they put Myers back in the tailback position again.
Lost 3 yards on that. 2nd and 13. Myers has it this time. Myers gets back up to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 10. Some other games taking place around the city tonight. We'll talk about those in the second quarter. Some of our second quarter prognostications by Brian and Paul. I try to stay out of the fray. Let those guys take all the risk.
Making buddies out there.
3rd and 10. Don't forget tonight, at the end of the game, Barbara Honda Player of the Game will be awarded to one player from one of these teams, unless we have 2 phenomenal performances like we did Centennial and East. Brian will hand that award out. 3rd and 10. Armenta will go to the air. Has a man open. Oh, ooh, ouch. Well, Armenta had Blaine Davidson wide open, and Paul, fortunately for Blaine Davidson, we don't have replay of that.
No replay of that, but it was fresh in my memory. Armenta gets everybody to bite on that play action because of the run. Throws a perfect ball. You know, Armenta, I'm going to give this young man some credit. Throws a beautiful ball, and he started off the year as their receiver. And due to injuries and everything else, he's gone back there for the team, is now playing quarterback, and throws a beautiful ball right there.
Midfield, fake punt territory, no dice. Perfect snap. Nice left-footed punt. Going to take a kooky bounce, straight left. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. North High School will take over. You're watching the high school football game of the week, and it's brought to you exclusively only by Bright House Networks Bakersfield, Kern County's Sports Vision. Looking forward to a lot of great games still left here in the season. We've got a calendar in front of us. We'll take a look at some of the possibilities. TBS in HD launched today in Bakersfield and Tehachapi. It can be found on Channel 53 on the Bright House Networks lineup and Channel 727 on the Sunlink lineup. It is available at no extra charge to customers with an HD receiver. Oh, my goodness. Penalty flag comes in late. Comes in late on that. Paul, do you think you saw what that call might have been at the end?
Yeah, it looked like a face mask there. They were kind of running together and swiping at each other, and we see Fosbender there talking to the white hat, explaining what they saw over there. But Tanner Webb, once again, he's going at it. We don't see the. Oh, it's a face mask against North High. It looks like Tanner Webb reaching out to straight arm must have got some of the face mask there when he was running down the sideline straight arming. This Tanner Webb, he's quite an athlete. He grew up playing ball, the little pee-wee football, with a lot of the players at Centennial. Him and Brock Bivens, quarterback for Centennial, are best buddies. I ran into the boys last Saturday up at BC, watching our BC Renegades, the #1 team in the nation, just beating up on everybody. And can't wait till our halftime today.
Paul Press will be interviewing Reggie Bolton, Coach Reggie Bolton from the Renegade staff. Paul, looking forward to your interview with Coach Bolton.
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm telling everybody, I got the greatest job on Friday nights in Kern County, man. I get to sit here beside you, watch football.
Boy, that's a loaded statement.
And sit here and put in my 2 cents, and then get to interview some of the great coaches. You know, I had a chance to interview Coach Chudy a few weeks ago. I really enjoyed that.
Handoff up the middle. Nice strong run out there by Seth Vlach. Seth Vlach, V-L-A-C-H, the V-man, with a strong run right up the gut. Gets hit early, and he carries 2 or 3 Rebels with him for about a 6-yard gain. It is 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4. Haven't thrown it down to Brian that much yet, but we will. Brian's working the sidelines, getting some scoop, talking to some South High staff that were once at Foothill and once at Bakersfield College. Coach Douglas and Coach Platt. Oh, what a hit. John Northrup makes the catch, but Russell Webster delivers a big, big hit. Watch this.
Well, they're going to see Northrup. Pow! Northrup comes out from the tight end position and is going across the middle there. That's always dangerous. He's a big kid, Northrup. He gets up and just kind of shakes it off and walks back like, darn, that was a pretty good hit.
Russell Webster, a junior, 6'3", 180 pounds, hits John Northrup, a junior. What a collision. I hope we can see that one again. 3rd and 4. Webb decides to keep it himself, and he picks up the first down. A nice play by Tanner Webb. You can tell he plays a lot like Brock Bivens.
Yeah, and you should have heard the 2 boys talking last Saturday. But the one thing about Tanner Webb is he's known, I guess, for his stomach muscles, let's say. Kind of Nick Oneida-onish in that category.
Oh, Tanner's an ab man?
Yeah, he's an ab guy. And I told him we were going to give him, tease him a little bit about it this week, and he just kind of smiled and walked away. Oh, Coach Press. But Bivens and everybody was giving him a hard time, but wishing him luck.
He's in trouble now. Webb goes to his left, decides to, ooh, another big hit. Woo! Tanner Webb with an acrobatic attempt at a leap. Watch this on our Flash Go replay. Stephen Roberson, watch this. Webb thinks he'll go in the air. He does. Boom! Thrown to the ground, WWF style. But a nice big pickup for Tanner Webb.
Yeah, this swing T offense of the North High Stars run, it's very effective on the ground. It gives you an illusion of, 3 different guys could have the ball. And Coach Blankenship, when he was the head coach at Clovis West, really made it popular here in the Valley. And a lot of teams have picked up on it and still run it.
Dean Johnson in motion, but there's a flag on the play. North High School homecoming tonight, October 5th. Packed, absolutely packed in their home stands over there. The band takes up about 1/3 of the stands, and they've got the rest of it just filled up. Look at this shot right here, everybody. Normally we're up there above the press box, but because of homecoming and all of the extracurricular activities that go along with homecoming, they said, hey, would you guys mind going on the other side? And that gave us an opportunity, Paul, for you and I to sit up here in the catbird seat. The Flashco scissor lifts. Hey. Oh, wow. Wow. Dean Johnson has all the room he needs, but he's drugged down out there. What a nice play. A nice play by Roland Myers. And Brian Adams, this is one of the things you talked about. Roland Myers, he's going to be playing both sides of the football at very important positions. A lot as we're seeing this replay, Brian. Roland Myers is going to have to play a lot of football tonight.
Well, Vance, he's going to play a lot of football, but what I like is his aggressiveness. He's playing good football. On defense, he's calling the plays. He's making the reads. He's been involved on at least 2 tackles every set of downs. And then offensively, they just got to figure out a way to get some blocks, give him an opening so he can make the big run.
Thank you, Brian. 3rd and 2. Important play for the Rebel defense here. They might make the hold. No, they don't. Big first down for North High School. Block on the carry. And, Paul, it looks like North High School has their system down so well that they know which player exactly to use for 3 yards, another person to use for 7 yards. And when in doubt, they've got Webb to make up the difference. But a guy like Vlock, he's been asked to carry on 2 big 3rd downs right now. No hesitation. He's the guy.
Yeah, the system's been here at North High now for 6 years, I believe, the swing T. So the kids know it, and it's very effective if you know how to run it.
Dean Johnson in motion, fumble! Dean Johnson, and by the way, everybody, his name is Julian Dean Johnson, so that's why his name is not Dean Johnson, but it's Julian Dean Johnson on the fumble. Oh, boy. It just to the left of your screen, it's on the ground too late. It was coughed up and jumped on immediately. I think it was handled by Blaine Davidson. I didn't see the number. I thought it was number 9, Blaine Davidson, that fell on it. Could be wrong, and I'm sorry if I am, but I thought that's who it was. 1st and 10, and I just said a big defensive hole for South High, and they get the fumble recovery. 1st and 10, 3.5 left in the first quarter. Myers, the pitch. Nice pursuit by North High School, but Myers cuts back up, and a la Andre Smith, when he makes his cut up, it's not just speed, it's strength.
Yeah, very strong young man. And right here, he's got to go ahead and make that commitment as you see him kind of pop back out. He's going to learn to drop that shoulder more like Andre Smith does. Drop that shoulder and make that hard cut against the grain. But remember, he started off the year as a tight end.
Right.
You know, so
Coach Wren really moving his guys around.
Yeah, moving back. So, and now I also don't want to give anything away, but they're not going to see this till later. He also can throw the ball. So let's watch for him to a little toss, throw action back there.
2nd and 8 could be the play to do it. Nope, he's going to run this one. Nice run. That is a nice bit of work right there. Just ducked his head and got about 4 or 5 yards. Brings up 3rd and, well, 3rd and 6 maybe. Here's our flash score replay, Paul.
Yeah, right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Make that hard cut, get your shoulders downhill, get going down towards the line of scrimmage, and get what you can, because he's a big, strong kid. Don't get out there around there and start dancing in and out, and running across the field. You want to run downhill, get your shoulders parallel, and go.
Well, he's on the sidelines for a breather. 3rd and 7. Armenta, the quarterback. Last series put one right on the money. Nope, they're not going to pass this time. The pitch is to Levi Chavez. And he's stopped down there by Ruben Suarez. So that'll be a 4th down. South High School is going to have to punt.
I don't know if the South High coach, I don't know whether, I'm sure they're up on the press box, but they see what I see right now. North High's really pinching down and pursuing.
Yep.
That's going to leave a backside, a bootleg open for the South High quarterback, Armetta. He's an athlete, so I'd look for that fake toss, and he'll bootleg back out here, and it's open.
4th down.
Julian D. Johnson back to receive the kick.
Beautiful punt out there by John Dutton. A long one. Oh, did he touch it? Did Dean Johnson touch it? South High's going to have to hurry. And they down it at the 1 yard line. The 1 yard line. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. I thought for a moment they said it's because his feet were on the goal line and he touched the football. Okay, he gets away from it. So Julian Dean Johnson doesn't touch it. Watch this, Paul. I didn't know if that South High player touched the, see his feet right there? Oh, does that matter?
Yeah, well, in high school, he goes back in. He didn't kill it.
Oh,
but he went into the end zone, but he came back out and reestablished his body and his feet back in the field to play there.
Well, excellent. Dutton with a 72-yard punt, and it lands and stops at the 1 yard line, or the 1.5 yard line. So that football gets a lot of attention at the 1 yard line. Webb. Ball handoff goes up the middle to Black. He's hit hard at the 5 yard line, so it'll be second and about 7 or 6. We're under a minute left in this first quarter. High school football game of the week brought to you by CSUB Athletics, the pregame show, the law offices of Young Nichols, the Bakersfield College halftime show, our Flashco replay, and the Barber Honda player of the game, sponsored, of course, by Barber Honda. I'm Vance Palm. I've got Paul Press up here with me on the Flashco scissor lift. Dean Johnson in motion. Vlock tumbled over at about the 7 or 8 yard line, so that'll bring up a 3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Here's a great opportunity for South. Get a stop right here, maybe get some good field position, Paul.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you right now, they need to be careful of, we call it the Sally. Sally is kind of against the grain, come back. It's almost like an inside reverse, if I can put it in simple terms. It's a well-known play for a wing T, and it's usually good for about 7 or 8 yards. You just don't want to run it too many times in a game. But there it is, end of the first quarter.
6-0, North High leads. That is the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with the second. You're watching High School Football Game of the Week. North High School leads by 6 points over South in the second oldest rivalry in Kern County. Back in a moment.
For over 3 decades, Flashco has been the local equipment company in Kern County. From major job sites to weekend projects, Flashco is the contractor's choice for equipment rental or purchase. We're also sign specialists using cutting-edge technology to create high-quality custom signage for anything. We're also the #1 local supplier of traffic control equipment, including signs, barricades, safety equipment, and more. Plus, our skilled mechanics will repair any make or model of heavy equipment. Flashco, we'll take care of it.
Imagine a moment where you didn't have to think about gas prices. We did at Barber Honda. And now, for a limited time only, get incredible clearance offers on all new remaining 2007 Honda models, including the new Honda Accord. And all your other favorite Honda models, in stock and ready to drive home. You've been thinking about it, now's the time to do it. The 2007 clearance event at Barber Honda, 4500 Wyville Road, at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Back, everybody. The beginning of the second quarter. We're at North High School. It's 3rd and 5 on their own 7 or 8 yard line. The handoff to Julian Dean Johnson. Are you kidding me? It's going to be a foot race in Kern County. Julian Dean Johnson's going to win it. His second very long touchdown of the game, and that'll make it 12-0. So on a 3rd and 5 on their 7 yard line, South High School was hoping to hold back North High and maybe cause them to punt. It doesn't happen. The opposite happens. A 93-yard touchdown run. Wow. Julian Dean Johnson.
Well, been looking forward to watching this young man play in person. Man, now I know why. You know, heard good things about him, and he's got good speed and everything. But now we're seeing.
Can you say junior?
Yeah, and
wow.
that puts him about 160 yards already in the first half.
Wow. Well, a 93 and about a 55 or about 170 yards almost. You're right. Well, they're going to try to go for the 2 point to get this thing back to where it would be a 14-point ball game, and they do. And that didn't look very difficult. So. Oh, boy, 14-0, and here we take a look on our Flashco replay. Brian Adams, what do you think of this young man?
North High School stars 14.
Oh, really? Very good. Paul, look at this guy.
Well, he hits the hole, and that's the big thing. He's hitting the hole at the right time, and that hole only opens up. The one thing I'm concerned about is the South High defense, their safety, strong safety, free safety, are coming so tight that they're coming up and they're getting piled up in that pile up, and there's no reason for them to be 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, 6 yards from the line of scrimmage when he hits that hole. There's no angle, no time for recovery. If they guess wrong and they go in the wrong area, all of a sudden, pop, and there goes the big one. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. I don't know why South High, their safeties are playing aggressive. You need to play aggressive, but you overplay that and you get yourself out of position.
14-0 North High School leads. Very beginning of the second quarter, it was a 3rd and 5 on the 7 yard line, and they bust out with a 93-yard touchdown run by Julian Dean Johnson. He has both scores, both of them long runs. So if we had a Barber Honda player of the first quarter in 1 minute, it would be him. South High School onside kick, and it's bobbled, and it's in trouble. Who gets it? Ooh, nice thought there by North High School. And it almost ends up in North High's hands, but bobbled, and it goes out of bounds on a South High player. So 1st and 10, very good field position for the Rebels. We take a look at this, Paul.
I like this call. It's a great call, Coach Camps. You know, you got to do that and when it's least expected, and it almost worked. And you got to play like that
you got to get your first win. You got to take chances like that. You got to have the guts as a head coach to go ahead and call that, or why practice it during the week? You know, if you're going to practice it during the week, you got to call it sometimes in a game.
I formation. Now Jose Ramos at QB. He sends Armenta in motion. Roland Johnson right up the middle, penalty flag.
Well,
so they're moving guys around at different positions.
Jose Ramos started off the year as their starting quarterback, and then he was injured during their scrimmage. Right before their first game, you have a scrimmage, and he gets hurt in that, and this is his first night back, suited up. And I was told we probably wouldn't see him really get much playing time, but I guess when you're down 14-0, you call on your original starting quarterback. He's only a junior, but he's used to playing that position. So they got him back in, and what that does is that moves Armenta out at the receiver's position where he originally started the year. So that gives you Armenta out there, an athlete. Maybe they can get their passing attack going.
Sounds good. Penalty was against South High, makes it 1st and 15, just underway in the second quarter. Week 6 high school football game of the week. Fumble! North High School appears as if they have it. All the stars are jumping around, and they do. Well, the quarterback change proves to be disastrous now, as the exchange really didn't have a chance. It looked as if Meyer's hands were completely in the wrong position, and if we can see that again from our Bright House Networks production truck, our director Bernie Johnson might roll that at us again. Watch this, Paul. Look at Myers, didn't even.
We see right here the Flashco replay. Yeah.
Wow. Fumble! Well, now,
wow.
Julian Dean Johnson coughs it up, and it's recovered out there by Daniel Rodriguez, and because we were away at replay, we missed that one to go on replay. So fumble back in the hands now of South High School. You just never know. You never know.
Just give it back. And you know, we were just talking about Jose Ramos coming in, and he's been out for 5-6 weeks now. And that's one of the things, he didn't get a whole lot of reps this week in practice at the quarterback position. They didn't think they were going to play him that much. So the little bit of the timing and the mesh point is where the quarterback and the running back come together.
Right.
And that might be a little off. So we'll see. South High's got to open it up and let him throw, though.
Ramos looking to go to the air on 1st and 10, but he won't. The pitch out there to Levi Chavez, and he's hit at about the 34-yard line, about a 4-yard gain. But, Paul, having Ramos back in there, it gives the offense a different look, more options. Everybody's back kind of in their normal position, and a lot of times just mentally that can help a team.
Yeah, it does. And the big thing is you got James Armenta. You can move him out and do things with him now. He's not back, you know, I don't want to say stuck back at quarterback, but that's not his natural position as we see him split way out there to the left now.
2nd and 7 officially. Ramos again to Chavez. Chavez carries it up to about the 38-yard line. A gain of about 4 should bring up about 3rd and we'll say 3 or 4. Last night I had the opportunity to see Coach Fanucchi and his brother John Fanucchi at the Garces Memorial High School barbecue. Saw Coach there and said hi to him. Great event. A veritable who's who last night, Paul, at the Garces barbecue.
Yeah. Sorry I missed that one. But something about my classes that I'm taking at night right now are tough classes.
Paul Press continuing and furthering his education.
Yeah.
3rd and 3. Clock keeps ticking. We're under the 10-minute mark here in the second quarter. The breeze picking up of a nice swaying feeling. Got a timeout on the field. 14-0's the score. How about this, everybody? Bright House Network's always looking to improve your home. TBS and HD is the premier destination for top-rated lineup comedy programming. It serves as home to such hot contemporary comedies as Sex and the City, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Family Guy, and blockbuster movies, and hosted movie showcases. TBS and HD, Bright House Networks, Bakersfield, one connection, unlimited possibilities, incredible. I don't know what I would do without my Bright House.
I don't know what I would do without my Bright House right now. I couldn't take my classes. Bright House Internet. Boy, it's the fastest thing. It really helps.
Wow.
I'm telling you, because I take the online courses. So I use Bright House every night.
Second quarter prognostications. Brian Adams, what do you think about Foothill at 4-2 after this play, Brian? Foothill at 4-2 at your BHS 5-1. Trojans at Drillers. 33, big play for South. Fumble! Oh boy, the fourth fumble of the game, the third fumble in the last 2 minutes. Ramos fumbles in a costly miscue there, because now they've got to boot that ball. Brian Adams, Foothill at BHS.
Well, Foothill had a good win last night against East in an upset. There will not be an upset against Bakersfield High School. Bakersfield High School wins.
Paul Press, Garces 3-3 at East 4-1.
Well, I feel sorry for Coach Finucci. This is 2 weeks in a row. Last week he had BHS coming off their one loss, and then this week he's got East High coming off their one loss. So I say East High.
Brian Adams, Liberty 3-2 at Golden Valley 2-3.
I'm going with Liberty.
They're not going to punt. They're going for it. 4th and 2. Well, little short kick. If it gets a decent bounce, which it doesn't, comes right back and stops at about the 32-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 31 from North High School. So you're going to go Liberty over Golden Valley. That's Brian's pick. How about, Paul, is there a possibility of an upset, Stockdale at Centennial?
No. No offense to the Stockdale Mustangs, but I think Centennial is probably, if not one of the best teams around, one of the top 3 here in the Valley right now. They're playing very good football.
Brian Adams, what about this? What about this one? Arvin 2-3. 2-3 Arvin. 2 wins in a row now at a 5-0 Bakersfield Christian. Brian, after this play, Brian, Arvin at 2-3 versus Bakersfield Christian at 5-0, Brian.
That's Rock with the carry.
Vance, I'm going with Bakersfield Christian. Every time I go with your Bears, Vance, it doesn't come through for me.
All right. Possibly, Kern County, we may have in a couple weeks, possibly, so that's a disclaimer, Paul, possibly, an undefeated Taft team at an undefeated Bakersfield Christian High School team on the Bright House Network's High School Football Game of the Week. How cool would that be?
I would really like to see that. I'd really like to see it.
Webb on a keeper is thrown out hard and heavy. North High School staff looking for a late hit. No dice, just throw down hard. That'll bring up a 3rd and short as we see Webb on a keeper, Paul, and he's a tough kid. It's those ab muscles.
Yeah, his abs and the rest of his muscles. But Tanner Webb is a very complete athlete. I have a lot of respect for Tanner Webb. You know, this day and age where athletes tend to move to certain areas so they can go to certain schools. Not Tanner Webb. He stays where he's supposed to go and plays a very important part here at North High.
Block takes a hard hit. He's second at about 7, second or 6. The public address announcer thinks it's a 5-yard gain. This game moving swiftly along. Neither team really puts the ball in the air that much, so it causes the clock to continue to grind. And with this nice autumn breeze blowing by us on this Flashco scissor lift, nice little evening here. Autumn football. Does it get any better than this? Man, oh man. 2nd and 5. Webb on a keeper, looks up the gut. Still on his feet. They better drag him down. What a great run. What a great run. That was an impressive, strong, athletic, never give up type of run we see on our Flashco replay, Paul. It's nice.
Tanner Webb sees it, reads it, cuts it right there, plants that right foot, gets his shoulder square, and goes downhill. And right there, just good balance. That's what the weight room will do for you. It gives you strength. And when you're in the weight room and you have strength, and then you do a lot of foot drills, a lot of speed drills, a lot of agility drills. You know, you don't need to go out and play games every day. Just go out and just play any type, hopscotch, anything. Little kids need to go out and play soccer, kick the ball, chase each other, play tag, because all that playing helps with your foot balance and foot speed.
Roland Myers came in with a tomahawk chop to try to get that ball loose. 1st and 10. Vlock is their workhorse up the middle. He gets about 2 yards. Clock continues to tick. Halftime show brought to you by Bakersfield College. Our very own Paul Press will be interviewing Coach Reggie Bolton from Bakersfield College, the #1 team in the country, the junior college level. They are very, very impressive this year. They've got a bye week. They're off for the week. Coach Chudy's probably going to go try to watch some games, see some other schools play. I know a lot of these players have a weekend off. Some of them heading to the coast. Some of them just hanging low and watching a little college football. 2nd and 9. Webb on a keeper. And the ball pops loose and covered up there. Another fumble, but the erstwhile Derek Carnes there to fall on that ball. So we've had 5 fumbles in the first half.
Yeah, Derek Carnes, number 63. When I was out here watching North High this week, he's a very important part of their line.
Wow.
Really is their line leader. And as he plays, as Coach Camps was telling me, you know, Coach Press, really, this Carnes, he's a really good lineman and a leader. And if he has a good night up there with our line, we should do okay.
Hey, just got some more stats. Got a fumble recovery. Handoff at the middle, Vlack. Nice tackle in there. That's a good play by South High School. And the tackle was made by Fernando Gutierrez. And that probably saved a touchdown. Watch this play, Paul.
Now, right here, they're just going straight at him and pound it. And right there, we had a good shot of Derek Carnes, 63, the center. He gets a huge push. He pushed all the way out of our screen there. Gets a huge push, and now that puts him down on the 4-yard line. And with that type of push, it's only a matter of a few more seconds. And I think the North High Stars, if they hold on to the football, can get some more points here.
Under 5 minutes left in the first half. Hard count. And South High jumps. That could be a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line if they get encroachment on South High School. Justin Fosbender, the line judge, was right there to make the call. Here's the hard count, Paul, and do they make contact?
Nope, but he does get in the neutral zone there and breaks that plane. And in high school football,
right.
Yeah, he's not Joey Porter and the Dolphins. He can't jump off and bark and jump back. Here,
well, Joey Porter and the Dolphins are struggling.
Well, he's still getting paid.
Raiders took care of business. 2nd and goal from the 2. Touchdown, North High School. Tanner Webb in for the TD, and it's 20-0 North High School. So the ancient rivalry between the north side and the south side right now being dominated by the north side, and they've had the sword for a few years now, Paul, and South High is really going to have to muster some major effort here to keep this thing from staying up on the north side for another 12 months.
Wow, I tell you, North High offense come alive tonight.
They just muscle it in, Black and Webb. They push it in, no sign yet, no call yet. South High School player has the football, so.
Well, he doesn't. He really doesn't want to show that ball off, because if he got it,
it went over the line.
It went over the line. So
well, they say no good.
Wow.
20-0. Well, here's our Flashco replay.
Okay, well. We got a big push. Looks like the Piles, he's in the end zone there, and let's say, here you go. I'm done with the ball. And all of a sudden there, wow.
That one slipped by because he was about 3 feet in the end zone. Watch this, Kern County. Keep a close eye. Oh, this is the touchdown. Sorry, this is Webb on a keeper, and he just kind of waltzes in. That's an easy 6 points. Ooh, takes a late hit in the end zone. He's already in there.
Yeah, that very possibly could have been a flag right there. That's
sure, and he's looking up at the official saying, man, I was in for 3 steps. Here's the 2-point conversion they're trying to go for, and watch this, Kern County. You tell us if this ball's in or not. Block with the carry. The whole North High student body shoves him up there. He's on the ground, and then you'll see over on the left side here, I think it's James Armenta. Oh, no, it's Shannon James has ripped it out of his hands. Well, 20-0, North High School. Will they try for another onside? I don't think so. Well, it's a pooch kick. Lands in doesn't land on Armenta's hands. It's going to be taken at the 25-yard line, and he's got some room. And that was Dominic Romero, and he gets up to about the 43-yard line, so decent field position for the Rebels.
Dominic Romero, 5'5", 150 pounds. Attaboy, Dominic. Way to pick up the ball. He did a good job there of getting the ball because that's a live ball. Once the ball hits the ground, it's past 10 yards. The North High Stars, they hustle down. It'd be their ball again. Dominic picks it up, and not only does he pick it up, he takes off down the sideline and gets some yardage.
1st and 10, South High School. Next week, everybody. Highland High School is where we'll be, and they'll be hosting the Foothill Trojans. That ought to be a really nice football game. Nice hard carry up there by Roland Myers. He gets maybe 2 yards. Next week, Paul, we'll be up at Highland High School where the Scots will host the Trojans. Another one of my favorite places to call a football game because we're way up high on the visitors' side. Up on top of the booth, we see over the entire city. So this is a beautiful view tonight. We can see the grapevine from here. Bakersfield College up behind us. Garces up behind us over there. We're up on this state-of-the-art Flashco scissor lift. Hey, there's a shot right there. That was Ray. Was that our lift? Pass across the middle. Overthrows James Armenta. Look at that, everybody. That's our Flashco scissor lift. That's Paul and I that's Paul and I in our puppet show. There's
Hey, I tell you, I love this lift because I get no wind.
Hi everybody, how you doing?
Ray's really happy we're up here with him tonight, isn't he? He's just stoked.
Oh, Ray just cracking up.
3rd and 7 for the Rebels.
7, ball on the 37-yard line.
Oh, he's got time. Does he have a receiver? Across the middle. Ooh. And not a bad pass whatsoever. Looks like James Armenta had a shot at it. Oh, sorry, that was Shannon James. Shannon James out there. Let's look at this play here on our Flashco replay, Paul.
Yeah, he gets out here. Ramos gets out and buys time. Gets a backside block right there. The thing is, he's been out for 6 weeks and it's just a little high. And he needs to bring that down a little bit. But I noticed when he was over here on the sideline, Coach Douglas, offense coordinator for South High Rebels and a former Foothill head coach, BC coach, and all-around good guy, was talking to his quarterback and getting him to settle down.
The kick is up and away.
A nice punt. It's going to be taken. Fair caught at the 33-yard line.
33-yard line by 15 for North High.
3:28 left in this first half, and as we got a good shot of Jose Ramos rolling out to his right, a couple of nice blocks, Paul.
Yeah,
There's
they get
one.
a good side seal. This is a called rollout here. They want to get him out and let him create a little bit, and then right there gets a nice backside block to buy that extra second.
Yeah, I think Shannon could have had that.
And just a little high, but I think we're probably going to see some good stuff out of the Rebels come the second half. I'm predicting that the Rebels put up at least 2, maybe 3 touchdowns and make this thing a game in the second half. Their offense is starting to click. It's just a half second here, a step there.
1st and 10, North High. Webb throws across the middle, has a man wide open. Nice route, nice pass, nice catch, and good running by John Northrup. So that'll bring up a 1st down and 10. Got about 11 yards on the play. Nice play here, Paul.
Yeah, nice job. Webb gets around, gets his hips squared off, lefty, so he can roll that way. And that's the one thing when you're looking at film and you're a defensive coordinator, I know when I was a defensive coordinator, I didn't like it when we played lefty quarterbacks because I had to readjust some of my defensive players.
Block. Hard carry. Well, I sure like the way this kid runs.
He does run hard. I like the way he runs too. He gets the ball right here, as we can see on flash code replay. Gets it right there, keeps his feet moving right there. You never really see any of his feet ever come dead. They're never still on the field. He always keeps them moving and going, and that's what good backs do. You know, their feet never really become planted on the grass. It may look like they planted, but really their feet are always moving.
Webb floats it out there. Vlock almost makes the catch. Well, at halftime, we have a special guest that Paul will be interviewing, but in the meantime, let's shoot it down to Brian Adams. Brian, what's happening?
Well, Vance, I'm just down here with Coach Reggie Bolton. You're going to have him at halftime. We're just talking about the level of play here in BC and, you know, how he's enjoying being here. But I'm not going to steal Paul's thunder. I'm going to let Paul get him at halftime and let the county meet him.
Brian, South High in trouble here. Can they muster up some scores?
Well, Vance, first they got to make a stance right here because they can't afford to go down 27 or 28-0. So they're going to definitely have to make a stand here and get the ball back and then try to put some points on the board before the half.
Thank you, Brian. I enjoy seeing Brian down there talking to coaches and former players in the city. It's what it's all about. Somebody like Brian Adams, who played at BHS, UCLA Bruins, and he's down there just kind of mixing and mingling with the movers and shakers of the football world. Good stuff.
Yeah, anytime I go anywhere with Brian, and we're together quite a bit lately. We go out around town, and everybody knows Brian Adams, and Brian's very gracious to everyone.
Timeout on the field, 2 minutes left in the first half. Hey everybody, TBS and HD will also showcase high-def presentations of TBS exclusive coverage of the 2007 Major League Baseball's Division Series playoffs and the National League Championship Series, so spread the word, everybody. TBS and HD on Bright House Networks Bakersfield. Remember, to get TBS and HD, customers need an HD TV and an HD receiver. Thanks to the Bright House Networks marketing department and Colleen Dillaway for the information. And can anybody in that production truck tell me who won the baseball game, the Yankees or the Indians?
we had to come to work, and it was in extra innings. Boy.
4th and 1, Paul. 4th and 1 here. Just got informed Indians beat the Yankees. Doggone it. Oh! A nasty play. What a big hit and a big strong hold right there. So just as the doctor ordered, Brian Adams said that they need to come up with a big defensive stop. Watch this, Paul.
Wow, as we see it right here. It just picks him up.
Jose Velasquez.
Great stop. I don't understand the call. You're getting 4 yards up the middle every time. You got your big center, Derek Carnes, right there. I would have kind of came right behind Derek Carnes and let him get me a push. We only needed 4th and 1, and we only needed 1 yard. They go outside, and South High comes up with a big stop, and with 1:57 and some timeouts left, they have an opportunity to get a score here.
South High, Ramos goes to his right, has a man open. Can he have the time to do it? Can he throw it? He tries to break free and gets back up to the line of scrimmage. He was trying to throw that to the very end. Our director, Bernie Johnson, in our ears saying, man, we've had some big hits tonight. You're right, Bernie. It's been a hard-hitting affair. Here's Ramos, almost gets free.
Yeah, he's chased out and rolling him out to the right every time to the right. So North High is adjusting their defense.
Right.
And they're gonna start slanting to his right. It'll be interesting now because they're on the right hash, so the wide side of the field would be the left. Wonder if they'll roll him out to the left. I'd like to see how he does when he's rolling to his left, and as a right-handed quarterback, it's a little bit more difficult.
I was wondering why South High didn't use a timeout, and they finally do, but a lot of time went off that clock before they called it.
Yeah.
And so now at a $1:14, they do call timeout. They had 2. Now they have 1 left. So South High School would dearly like to get in that end zone, even if it's a field goal for 3 or an actual touchdown. That would be nice for them to finish off the half with some points. As it stands, the score is 20-0. North High School leading over South. You're watching the high school football game of the week. We'd like to thank our sponsors, our partners in this great adventure we call high school football game of the week. CSUB Athletics for the pregame show. Ho, ho, ho. I had a phone call on the way over here tonight by one of the all-time legendary three-point shooters in Cal State University Bakersfield history. Ray Burris calls me on the way up, and he said, B-Man, tell Paul Press to keep that West High School love going. Talk about the West High Vikings a little bit. Ray Burris made me work on my dribbling and my ball handling skills because in practice he used to D me up, man. I mean, I would have about 1 inch to move on that floor. Ray would be right in my dish. So Ray, Paul and I saying hello to you. Thanks for watching, bud, and we'll see you at the CSUB Hoop Games Alumni Special Section. 2nd and 10, Armenta, inside handoff. He's only running sideways, though. North High picks it up and hauls him down. I want to touch on that one more time. I was talking to Ray Burris earlier, and the Cal State University Bakersfield Athletic Department is reserving a special section at Rabobank Arena. 3 rows, about 20 seats wide, right above the court. Basically looking at the visitors' bench, but about 70 to 80 seats for alumni basketball players the entire season. The whole season, total $80, $80. So I think it's a great idea for the university to offer all these former players, male and female, to watch all the Division I games at Rabobank Arena this year for $80. So Ray Burris said, man, I'm on that. I'll see you there, Vance. You know Ray Burris.
I went to school with Ray, man. You know, the great thing about Ray, he was a great three-point shooter, but you should have saw him on the football field. Ray would go up and get the football and bring it down, and he was quite a receiver. I enjoyed watching him play, and really enjoy hanging out with him. Still consider him a very good friend, and he's quite an athlete, and we'll be seeing his kids coming through here and playing here in a few more years, I bet. So I tell you, Coach Camps, the North High coach, is a West High alumnus. Coach Camps, West High alumnus.
3rd and 9, Ramos on a keeper, in trouble, thrown down. Will they call the timeout?
I doubt it. With 4th, they're going to let this run down. Somebody calls a timeout.
It's called, and it's going to be North High School. They want this football back with some time, so North calls timeout. Once again, we want to remind everybody, TBS in HD was launched today in Bakersfield and Tehachapi, and it can be found on channel 53 on the Bright House Networks lineup and channel 727 on the Sudden Link lineup. It is available at no extra charge to customers with an HD receiver. So it's channel 53 on the Bright House Networks lineup, and there's a correction here. It's channel 727. Wow, that was quick, fellas. On the Sudden Link lineup. It is available at no extra charge to customers with an HD receiver. So for those of you that don't have HD, you need to get it. But remember, to get TBS and HD, customers need an HD TV and an HD receiver. You know, our buddy Mike Duncan, the Grand National 2-time West NASCAR race driver, all his races are on HD TV. So that's one thing I love about it, being able to watch local racers on Speed Channel HD TV. 4th and 9, South High's going to punt it. North called a timeout, so they'd have a little bit of time left. The wind blowing directly from the north. Perfect snap. Dutton, end over end, and takes a wicked bounce. A wicked bounce. And Nathan Vlock, brother of Seth Vlock, thought he was going to take a little one-hopper, and that thing just skidded off to the right. So now North High School, for all intents and purposes, has 96 yards to go. But, Paul, they've shown that with the dangerous Julian Dean Johnson, 96 yards is nothing because he already has a 97-yarder, a 93-yarder. So
yeah, and he's popped two long ones already, about a 60-yarder and then a 93-yarder. So, but right now, I would imagine the South High Rebels has their safeties, maybe even playing a cover 2 with 2 safeties back over the top and making sure that they don't give up the big play. And that's exactly what they're doing. They got a cover 2 safeties over the top. They're going to hand the ball off, and there he goes. Wow.
They're thinking, hey, if Julian Dean Johnson can do it twice, he can do it thrice. Not this time, though.
No, South High Rebels, as we see right here. And that's what happened the first few times. See how he popped through the hole and gets past the linebackers. Well, what happened before, the 2 guys that made the tackles there, the safeties, they were coming up and they were getting so tight right behind the linebackers, then they were out of position, and that's how he popped the 2 long runs.
Big Evan Love out there Kern County. Ooh. Well, they'll have to stop the clock to move the chains. North High does not have a timeout, so Julian Dean Johnson almost broke another one, and this is at least a 50-yard run, but he still has a long way to go. The clock will start here instantaneously. As we see on our replay, they throw him down, and now Webb's going to have to spike this ball, or will they just try to get the play? He does, and that, my friends, was a very fast 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That was a quick 2 seconds that went off that clock. Well, they'll have one shot at the end zone, and here's the run again from Julian Dean Johnson. And Paul, had it not been for the speedy legs of Daniel Rodriguez, that would have been another touchdown. Man, oh man, here's Rodriguez catching up with him, but
yeah, he's lucky. Rodriguez had an angle there on him. If he didn't have that angle, I don't think they would have caught him. Luckily, he had an angle and some speed, so he could catch him and save a touchdown. But let's hope they save the touchdown and not give it up on this play. Now they've got safety way back. He's 20 yards off the ball.
Webb is going to throw, and no way. Roland Myers says, enough of this first half. What a big, big sack. And that's the end of the first half. A big tackle there by Roland Myers, but I'll tell you what, they're down 20-0, and he's hoping that play right there can get him excited for the second half. But so far, it has been North High School and the Julian Dean Johnson show, and this is how the game started. The second or third play from the line of scrimmage. Sorry, this is the first play of the second quarter, a 93-yard touchdown run, and right now it's North High 20, South High nothing. Back in a moment with Paul Press.
When you get injured, you may be facing an insurance company that has a lot of money to fight your case.
You need a lawyer on your side who's willing to fight the insurance companies and take your case to trial.
If you've suffered serious injuries in an accident, don't let them make you a victim twice.
At Young & Nichols, we've got the experience to take your case all the way.
I'm Steve Nichols.
I'm Thomas Brill.
And you have our word. We're always for the people.
We're here, we care, always for the people.
Imagine a moment where you didn't have to think about gas prices. We did at Barber Honda. And now, for a limited time only, get incredible clearance offers on all new remaining 2007 Honda models, including the new Honda Accord. And all your other favorite Honda models, in stock and ready to drive home. You've been thinking about it. Now's the time to do it. The 2007 clearance event at Barber Honda, 4500 Weibel Road, at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
I'm here at halftime with Coach Kemp. Coach Kemp, just tell us a little bit about what you guys were trying to do in the first half and just how explosive you guys have been in the first half.
Well, we want to take care of the football. That was our biggest goal coming in. We haven't done the greatest job of that, but we've had a couple new wrinkles formation-wise and things, and popped a couple big ones. We hold on the ball, I think we get some more points. So our second half goal is going to be the same as first half, just take care of the football and keep trying to play sound defense and tackle. But first half, not bad, but I think we could have done better. So hopefully we can play a better second half than first half. That'll be a challenge for us, real challenge.
Defensively, you guys so far have held them off the scoreboard. You really haven't let them get going. What are the keys have been in that first half for your defense?
Well, we really focused on those backs, 30 and 23. Those guys run hard, so we just want to make sure that we always key in on those guys and just reading our keys and doing better tackling, just trying to be a good tackling football team. And so far, working out.
So far, it is working out for you. Good luck in the second half, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
For over 3 decades, Flashco has been the local equipment company in Kern County. From major job sites to weekend projects, Flashco is the contractor's choice for equipment rental or purchase. We're also sign specialists using cutting-edge technology to create high-quality custom signage for anything. We're also the #1 local supplier of traffic control equipment, including signs, barricades, safety equipment, and more. Plus, our skilled mechanics will repair any make or model of heavy equipment. Flashco, we'll take care of it.
Bakersfield, are you ready for game day? The CSUB Roadrunners are ready to take on all new NCAA Division I opponents. This is runner basketball like never before. Buy season tickets today beginning at just $100 for a full season of D1 hoops against teams like Oregon State, Utah State, San Jose State, Fresno State, UOP, Long Beach State, Pepperdine, and more. Go to GoRunners.com for a full schedule or call 654-BLUE to reserve your seats for this historic Roadrunner basketball season. Get ready for a fun and exciting season of runner hoops.
Welcome back, everybody, to the BC Halftime Report. Tonight's guest is one of the assistant coaches of the #1 ranked BC Renegades, Coach Reg Bolton. Coach, welcome to the BC Halftime Report.
Thanks a lot, bro.
Coach, you're new here to Kern County. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit about your coaching background? Where'd you come from? Where were you last year and before that?
Well, you know, I'm originally from Oakland, California. I coached I was at Santa Barbara City College for 4 years. I was a head coach there, and before that I was a defensive coordinator, assistant head coach at Humboldt State University. I was there for 6 years, and before that I was at Sacramento City College as a coordinator. So I've had some little travels, but now I think I'm home, and I'm really enjoying Bakersfield and happy to be here.
Wow, it's quite a resume. I was teasing one of the other coaches here, and I was like, wow, this is quite a staff they have up at BC. I've had a pleasure coming out and watching some of your games and really enjoying it. A little bit about you personally. What, family, kids, what's going on there?
Well, I'm married. I have 2 kids. My wife's originally from Tehachapi, and that was one of the reasons I came back here. You know, we get back to family, and her father's a coach up at Tehachapi High School, and we got a real sports-orientated family. And again, I'm just happy to be here, and we're having a ball.
Talk about having a ball. I mean, winning is always fun.
Right.
BC Renegades, ranked #1. I mean, what's going on up there, Coach? Can you give us a little bit of insight? Why do you think BC is so good this year?
Well, first of all, I think we got great players. I think we got some kids on our team that are great character kids, but they're playing really well right now. And our coaching staff is one of the better coaching staffs I've been on. You know, and I think we work well together with Coach Schutte and Coach Dean and the rest of the coaches. And I think, you know, putting that together with the kids we have and the character kids, and the kids are playing hard and playing together as a team right now, which is a little bit different in most JCs. JC, it's hard to put a team together because we only got kids for 2 years, and I think our team right now is really working well, and we're playing well.
All right. Right now you're assistant coach up at BC. What position are you coaching? And really, I know coming here first year you're coaching a position, but what's really your specialty? What side of the ball? And
well, I've always been on the defensive side of the ball, and right now I'm coaching defensive backs, and I'm enjoying that, and we got some like I said, some great kids to work with, and we're really getting better on defense, and we really look forward to the second half of the season.
Speaking of the second half of the season, way to lead us into that. Next week, big game. You're on the road. What do you expect to play? Who do you play, and what do you expect to see?
We play Citrus College, and right now Citrus is in the south region of the WSC, and they're #1, and they're 5-0 coming in this game, and they're a very good football team. So we think, you know, we got a good chance to go down there and play well, but we definitely the toughest part of our schedule is coming up in the second half of the season. It starts with Citrus, and I think we'll have a good game down there.
So we need to make some road trip. We need to get some Renegade fans up there and get some support. We're a good team in Citrus. Now, after Citrus, not looking too far ahead, but you get to come back home, and I have to say thanks to Coach Dean and Coach Schutte and Coach Stubbe up there. They always seem to give me a pass. I get to come down the field and be part of it. But when we come back home, who are we playing, Coach?
Well, we get Santa Barbara, which will be, you know, kind of a bittersweet situation for me. You know, after coaching there for 4 years and putting a lot of time into that program. But, you know, right now I'm a Renegade, and they'll come in and we'll get after them like we get after everybody. So.
Well, I tell you, Coach, it was a pleasure meeting you. You know, read about you and heard about you through the grapevine and everything. But quite an impressive resume, and I think you're a very important factor. And welcome to Bakersfield. We're glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, and I know everybody else is glad you're here. And keep up the good work. Get the guys, keep them motivated. I know you will, and Coach Schutte and Coach Dean and everything. And thanks again for coming on the BC Halftime Report and spending time with us.
Well, thanks a lot for having me. And again, I mean, I think the community's great, and we love this fan support, and we're just feeding off their energy right now.
All right. There you go. Thank you,
Bright House fans, and BC, thank you for the halftime report.
Imagine a moment where you didn't have to think about gas prices. We did at Barber Honda. And now, for a limited time only, get incredible clearance offers on all new remaining 2007 Honda models, including the new Honda Accord. And all your other favorite Honda models, in stock and ready to drive home. You've been thinking about it. Now's the time to do it. The 2007 clearance event at Barber Honda, 4500 Weibel Road, at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
We were about 20 miles offshore. Well, I never saw it coming.
We were just reading the Sunday paper, and this thing comes out of nowhere.
I'm a part of a research team at Bright House Networks that's investigating asterisk incidents.
Ram the ball! It's trolling along.
Now, wham! The thing just rams right into us.
Yeah. I just looked up, and there it was. Hit the hood, rolled up onto the windshield. There was fine print all over the road, all over my car.
So I called my sister, and she said if it came from a phone company, I had to stay away from it.
If other companies want to hide their extra fees, their crazy restrictions, and their disclaimer, that's their business. We just don't want to contribute to the problem.
Yeah. Covered in fine print. Oh, man.
When you see an ad or a promotional price from Bright House Networks, you're seeing the whole deal. When you see an ad from the other guys, well, you're just trying to make every day easier. So one less asterisk, I think we're all better off.
Coach, man, I know the first half didn't go how you wanted. The kids have made some plays on defense. Just know they just let those couple of big plays get through.
Well, you can't win any football games if you're going to let, guys run 94 yards when you got them on 3rd and 5. So, we've made some adjustments, and, our kids obviously are stepping up in the late half, and we're just going to have to continue to wrap up and tackle better. We feel like if we tackle a little bit better, those obviously 94 yards only happens when you're just not wrapping up.
And that's one thing you talk about wrapping up. We see this week in, week out. We talk about it. Is you see a lot of kids now going for the hit, not going to the fundamentals of wrapping up and tackling guys. What are you talking about your kids about that? And then also offensively, can you get anything going?
Well, the first part of the question, defensively we talk a lot. We work a lot on tackling. So, we talk to our guys in the half about getting back to basics, made a couple adjustments to what they're doing with their option, and they've had a few wrinkles in their formations that we're making adjustments to at the half. Obviously offensively, we got to get a little help from our offense, and it starts up front with our ability to run the football, but we're also going to have to soften them up with pass game a little bit, and that's definitely what we're going to look to do this half.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks to Bakersfield College halftime show. Paul Press interviewing great coach Bolton. And Paul had some good stuff to say, and a guy that you get the sense he's very happy to be back in Kern County. His wife's from Tehachapi, and hey, you come back to Kern County, you start coaching the Bakersfield College Renegades, and before you know it, they're #1 team in the nation. That's a good move.
Yeah, and talking to him, during the interview and before the interview and after the interview, he's very, very knowledgeable. You don't become a head coach at his age of junior college, and then his coaching resume is very, very impressive, and it just goes to show what Coach Chudy's building up at BC. His staff is very, very, very solid, and we're happy to have Coach Bolton be here in Bakersfield. It seems like he's a really good guy.
High school football game of the week. We are about to start the 3rd quarter. South High School trails 20-0. And number 30 is what I was looking at. Roland Myers back there on the 10-yard line. He's had a busy first half, a couple big tackles, a couple big runs, but his team trails by just under 3 touchdowns. It's been all North High so far. Here comes the kickoff to start the second half, and it's starting to get pretty chilly up here on the Flashco Scissor Lift. Yeah. Ooh. Right up the gut. He's got all the room he needs. Hey, 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 hey. Kern County, are you kidding me? Ho, ho. James Armenta
the receiver slash quarterback slash now touchdown return man. Here I was talking about Roland Myers, and Armenta says, hey, Palm, watch this. Woo! A total of 26 points on the board now, 20-6. South High School answers in 13 quick seconds, Paul. That's how long it took for the ball to get down there, to end up in Armenta's hands, and to run it the distance. That was about a 90-yarder.
Yeah.
I'll have to see exactly where he caught the ball, but whoo, boy.
And just like that, you know, we were talking about, and I was saying their offense was starting to click at the end of the first half, and I knew they were going to come out and score, but I didn't know it was going to be that quick.
The snap, the hold, the kick, it's good. 20-7. 20-7. Here's the beginning of the third quarter. Here comes the kickoff. North High School feeling effervescent, frisky, strong, confident. Armenta looks, thinks he might kick it back to Myers, and he says, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and there was a great blocking. They had a middle return on, and that was a huge hole.
And there's Myers catching up with him.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that. And he gains ground here, and he passes everybody. And then he says, all right, I'll get out of the picture. I'll let you go ahead and get some camera time. And he kind of backs off after they get in the end zone. But he caught up really fast, showed his speed there. But just like that, you know, North High, that's not what they wanted, obviously. They're going to have to come out as we're watching the extra point there. Thank you, Flashco. And I have to say, this is a great scissor lift. We're sitting up here, and it's so clean and so nice and so new and wide. I used to do construction, and I had to work in some scissor lifts, and I'm telling you, this is the creme de la creme as far as scissor lifts go, man. This is nice. If you need equipment, call Flashco. Really, I'm serious. They've got top-notch equipment.
20-7. Now South High will kick off. We got a little bit of wind. They pooch kick it, and this will end up in the hands of a North High School star, and it ends up in the hands of Brian Aguayo. Aguayo brings it up to about the 42-yard line. The coaching staff, by the way, from the South High Rebels, head coach John Wren, assistant coach Tyson Jones, Dallas Plater, Scott Douglas, and Aaron Walker. The assistant coaches are Seth Mascarenas, Luis Cervantes, and Emery Nieto. Athletic director Jerry Antoine. Athletic trainer Mike Borden. That is the South High School training coaching staff and their trainers. And there's Coach Wren. And remember last year we started off the season with South High School in the 06 season. He gave us a tour of the workout facility, the new workout facility. Here comes North High. They want to answer back, and that young man's had a whale of a football game, and I mean only in the first half. He's had a big first half. We're talking about, of course, Julian Dean Johnson, a couple of long touchdown runs, and I happen to think he's probably over 200 yards and carries already. So, Paul, if South High can dig in, if they can dig in here, and as Brian said earlier in the game, hey, they're going to have to make stops before anything. We'll see what the third quarter has to hold for us. 2nd and 2. Dean Johnson again. Oh, boy. He's lassoed down at about the 28-yard line, and man, that was an explosive, quick burst through the line of scrimmage. Another 35, 40-yard jaunt. Woo.
Yeah, and that's, you know, South High's got to make a stop. And North High, after that kickoff return to start off this second half, this is exactly what they want to do. They want to come back out, establish their offense, establish this wing tee, keep the ball on the ground, let the clock work, march it down, and answer that return.
Vlock's going to have it up the middle. He's running hard, still on his feet. Vlock gets about 10 yards maybe. Is it already a first down again?
Yep.
First down. So 2 consecutive first down runs, and the ball is already in the South High neighborhood, and it looks like it's at about the 17-yard line, 18-yard line. So North kind of woke them up, that kickoff return.
Yeah, you know, South High comes out and strikes quick, but here comes the North High Stars.
Vlock on a good ball fake. Ends up being Dean Johnson, and he gets it up to about the 10-yard line. So great ball fake. Vlock has everybody thinking he's got it.
Tanner Webb putting the ball in and taking the ball back out, and then carrying it a few more steps, then getting it to Julian Dean Johnson there. Finished it off. As we see, here comes Tanner Webb, quarterback. Once again, very good, athletic young man, and lead him. I like the way they break from this huddle and they get to the line of scrimmage and snaps the ball. He's going to keep it himself and follow his fullback, first man through. He fakes it there and then just jumps in right behind him and gets about 3 yards, and it's going to be maybe 3.5 yards.
Big Roman Robinson, 5'10", 250-pound senior, gobbles him up.
Well, I wonder if the North High Stars are going to try to listen to Coach Preston. Last time it was 4th and 1, and they went outside, and I said, nah, keep it inside, keep it inside.
Yeah, well, I thought I should have said it before they did it because I figured they're just going to go for the hard count. Should have said it so you wouldn't think I was logging you, but
no,
the way they ran up to the line right there, said, here comes the hard count. Got him, 1st and goal now on the 4-yard line. So they rush up to the line, get this frenetic, crazy atmosphere up there. Hard count, it's just it's hard not to jump. Watch this, everybody. It's just hard not to jump.
Tanner Webb.
Hood!
Barking it out. There
Wow.
he is. It gets the big guy to jump off.
Webb on a keeper, and he bowls his way in. Should be touchdown, North High School. Touchdown. Well, North High gives up a kickoff touchdown return, and it might have just kind of snapped them out of their daze from halftime, and they marched down the field quickly. I mean quickly, maximum 6-7 plays, some big ones, some small ones, some tactical hard count, and 26-7, Paul.
Yeah, just like that. Less than a few minutes, we have 2 scores already, and just when you think South High is right back in it, North High comes down and answers.
Dean Johnson in motion. Oh, should have been caught. And it was dropped out there. John Northrup drops a feathery, light, soft touch here. Northrup on the little jump pass in there, and he kind of just drops it in. It was so easy, it was hard.
Yeah, it hits him right in the numbers. I don't know. I'm going to have to ask Tanner Webb, what was he thinking? Why are you throwing the ball right between his numbers? You should know better than that. You don't throw out a guy's numbers.
Because you know right now, he's thinking, oh boy, Monday in Films is going to be a drag when I have to hear about that one. Well, 26-7, an unusual score looking at the numbers, a total of about 33 points scored from a very different standpoint, 26-7. 10 minutes left in this third quarter. We're just underway in the second half. Seems like a wild start with a kickoff return, and then North High comes right back down the field and scores. You're watching the high school football game of the week. Our thanks to Coach Bolton from Bakersfield College and Paul Press for handling the interview duties. Coach Bolton's still down there talking to Brian. They're still going over life in general.
Man, there's 2 great football minds down there. I'd like to record their conversations, Brian Adams and Coach Bolton. Both of them know football very, very well, and I'm sure having some good conversation.
North High keeping with their, well, he should be down, is on a knee. Ramos, I guess they maybe didn't have control of it, but either way, if you're the South High coaches, you want him down there because they lost about 10 yards out of it. Here comes our Flash Go instant replay.
I think you're correct, Vance. I don't think he ever had control of it. When his knee was down, he didn't quite have it. Then he stands up.
There it is.
Stands up.
So now he's up and he has full control, and all that did was cost him about 10, 12 yards. And he gets thrown down hard out there. So 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. South High School be their first series from the line of scrimmage in the second half. They ran back the touchdown last time, the kickoff. Ramos to Myers. Myers gets nothing, gets tripped up.
Wow.
Well, Brian Adams, how about a UCLA Bruin report? What a football game tomorrow, B. Adams.
Well, Vance, the Bruins have Notre Dame limping in, and that's about the best thing we can happen for us for the Bruins, because we need to just beat them bad tomorrow.
Well,
you never know with Coach Durrell how the guys come out. Now, they could come out kind of soft, or they can just come out and just take the life out of them right away.
Well, Brian, you know, the Bruins have Notre Dame. SC has Stanford. Both the Southern Cal teams, could have easy games, but as Brian said, you never know. What do you think about Trojans and Stanford, Brian?
Well, after barely beating Washington, I hate to be the Stanford Cardinal this week because they might put 60 on them.
Well, especially because Coach Harbaugh early in the season was being quite
correct.
facetious about Southern Cal being the greatest team ever of all time, and I think Coach Carroll's got something for Harbaugh tomorrow. 3rd and 8. Ramos has time. Has a man open, and it's caught out there by Armenta. Armenta, if he spins and breaks out of that tackle, it'll be another touchdown. So nice pass play there for the South High Rebels. The crowd's kind of sparse, but they're getting into it. Last week, packed house over at South High for their 50th anniversary. Nice catch by Armenta. Look at this, Paul. He keeps his feet, and he's a goner.
Yeah. All right there, barely trips him up. Keeps hand in there. Sam Musick making the tackle for North High.
We've got a stoppage of play. We've got a North High School player down out on the far hash mark, and it looks as though it's Carlos Leal. So Carlos Leal, little gimpy, he's going to limp off, and he'll stop the play for just a second. Next week, everybody, Foothill High Trojans visiting Highland High School. Coach Hartnett.
The Highland Scots are 2-0 right now in league play. They beat Garces a few weeks ago, and then last week for their homecoming, Coach Hartnett got a win against Golden Valley, his old team. And Highland won a homecoming game, first time in many, many years that they've won a homecoming. Good for them.
Our own Sammy Bowman. Oh, look at this. Tries to thread the needle. Doesn't happen. Intended out there for James Shannon. Our own Sammy Bowman working the graphics and the computer in the Bright House Networks production truck last year. Played on the line for Coach Hartnett at Golden Valley. So we have a Golden Valley alumnus in the truck tonight, Paul Press.
Yeah, and Sammy's not allowed to miss any more of these games. I saw him at the BC game on Saturday, and man, I was like, what are you doing? You can't do that, man. He's a big part of our crew here.
Super Sammy taking the night off. Ball goes up the middle, and that is Fernando Gutierrez. He gets hit about the 42-yard line. 3rd and 9. 3rd and 9. Clock continues to tick. It'll bring us below the 8-minute mark left in the third quarter.
Well, here it is. You got the wide side of the field is to quarterback's left side.
He likes to roll
and
to the
right thing, but they got Tanner Webb out there playing out on that side. I would be looking for a naked bootleg, but Tanner's out there playing out wide now.
Roland Myers hit and thrown for about a 1-yard loss, hit by about 4 or 5 North High Stars. The first one to get there was Sam Musick. So Musick, the first one, and the Rebels will have to punt it away.
Yeah, and as we see, North High will go from defense to offense, and I think one guy runs off and one guy runs on, and that's about all the changes they make. They're playing some Iron Man football tonight.
Roland Myers walks off already looking pretty weathered, and he still has 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Dutton will do the punting. He's got a nice left leg. Another beautiful punt. Beautiful spiral. If that gets a decent bounce. Oh, too good of a bounce.
Wow.
75-yard punt for Dutton. He has put some big punts up there tonight, but it'll be 1st and 10 on the North High School 20-yard line. Again, we always take great pleasure in announcing our sponsors that make this possible. The CSUB Athletic Department hosts our pregame show, and November 17th, they will kick off their full Division I schedule with who else but Fresno State. Don't forget, that's the Golden Empire Bowl at Bakersfield College at 3 o'clock. And then at 7:30 at Rabobank Arena, Cal State University Bakersfield versus Fresno State. They've got a big, big schedule already. We'd also like to thank the law offices of Young and Nichols, Bakersfield College for the halftime show, Flashco for our replays, and Barber Honda for the Barber Honda Player of the Game that we will be awarding at the conclusion of this football game. And I know Sam, the sales manager from Barber Honda, had a nice convertible out here tonight in this freezing wind.
He came cruising in, boy, looking all sharp in that new car. It's pretty.
Pitch out to Dean Johnson. Penalty flag on the play, and it looks at, I think it might be an illegal block or a hold. We'll see. That'll stop the clock.
Boy, South High, the coaches are gonna look at this film and they're gonna see the angles that they're. Coach Wren wants to know what's going on, and then I believe that's the official Fosman who comes over and explains to him. Wren kind of goes, okay, and walks away, and now it's 4th and about 1, And North High is going to go for it. Looks like they're going to go for it. Webb is still in there, and they're in the huddle. This is a big play here. See if they go the hard count again.
That's a tough call right there. That's a tough call. They do go with a hard count. South doesn't jump. South doesn't go. Webb's going to hang on to it, and they're going to call timeout.
Timeout, North High.
And they'll punt the football now probably. Or will they? Or will they? So some great discipline out there by the front line of South High School. Webb trying to get him to jump again. Here's a good look at it. He's hard counting again. Hut, hut. Hut, hut.
Look like an old John Elway out there, boy. John Elway would have the hard count, boy. Woo! You could hear him all the way up in the stands.
Got a timeout on the field. Next week, don't forget, Foothill High School at Highland. That should be a very, very good football game. You look at some of the records of these teams now as we get into league. Foothill, last week has a big win over East High School. Highland, as you said, 2-0. Two older schools, Foothill and Highland. And talk about old, North High and South High. Second oldest, longest rivalry in high school football here in Kern County. Behind, I believe, Bakersfield and East. And we've got some other great rivalries, Garces and Arvin, Shafter, Wasco.
Yeah, that's a big one. And, it's going to be interesting. We're going to see some really good athletes next week. I know Anthony Johnson over at Highland, that kid can play. He's exciting to watch.
Fumble on the play, but it ends up being a first down for North High School. So, doggone it. South High had him on a 4th and 6. A player didn't get off the field in time, so they had the penalty called against him. Makes it a 4th and 1. North goes for the hard count. Doesn't happen. The ball ends up, it's a fumble on this play, but it looked as though the fumble ends up being.
First down, North High.
And North High gets the first down out of it. The South High crowd can't believe it. They're like, wait a minute. Do we get a look on our Flash Go replay? Here it is. Here's the fumble. And the ball is down there, and sure enough, it ends up in, or does it? Yep, it ends up in Webb's hands. So a miscued snap, the ball falls forward past the first down marker, and it ends up being a first down. That is a tough break for the South High Rebels. If you think of what transpired over the last 3 plays.
That's the 3rd time tonight that ball's bounced the right way for North High. It started off the beginning of the game when Tanner Webb, the ball bounced out. It comes out of his hands and lands right. Remember, Northrop catches it out of the air. We started off the night with North High, the ball flying around.
And we see Coach Wren talking to the officials. He might be saying, hey, listen, isn't that illegal? Isn't that, if the center moved the ball forward, Coach Wren might be thinking, wait a second, the center can't move it forward. But clearly it was a fumble. I think Coach Wren is saying, wait a second. And now the North High staff takes their team over to the side, and South High comes off. And this South High squad here thought they had them on a 4th and 6. They're going to receive the ball. Now all of a sudden it's 1st and 10. And North High, penalty flag. And that's probably going to be either against the coach or the player.
Well, I'm
that's
sure.
That's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah. He just called it on the bench, and I have to apologize. I did not get the officials' names, the lineup for the officials tonight. But as we see Coach Wren walking out there, and he probably said one word too many, but that happens sometimes. You get into it, and I know I've had plenty of years of coaching, and sometimes you just let your emotions get a little bit too much of it, but in his mind, I'm sure he's got a reason to say what he has to say. And then the official said, okay, well, I hear you loud and clear, but here's what I can do. And he throws the flag out. So
I think he is still really burnt on that 4th and 6 call. And I see he was looking over at the official that made that call, and he is still really fuming over the fact that his player was maybe a half a foot still on the football field, and they made that call. But if that's the rule and the player's not off the field, that was the call. So now to add salt to the wound, it's 1st and 10, midfield almost at the 45-yard line, 46-yard line. And now he's really asking his players to dig in and do something special here. Officials timeout, and now we're going to have official talking to Coach Wren. Now it's getting serious over here at the 45-yard line.
This is when one of Coach Wren's assistant coaches needs to make sure they stay in between him and this official. And I think the official was just saying, hey, can you have your guys move back? And more than anything, he's probably just buying a little time and hoping that things settle down on the sideline here. But as an assistant coach at this point, you don't want to say anything to your head coach, but you just want to kind of maybe stand in between and be a barrier in between the officials and your head coach at this point.
Well, the head officials saying, "Hey, fellas, we need this place clear. We need this. We need the sidelines clear for the guys moving the chains." And I think one of the assistants in the back or somebody involved in the program at South High was giving the officials an earful. Wasn't really even an assistant coach, I don't think. And I think that I think it's just getting a little frustrating over there on the sidelines.
Well, I can tell you, the White Hat will listen to a head coach. But as an assistant coach, and trust me, I know this for a fact, especially here at North High, a few years back, I said something on the sideline, and I didn't think it was inappropriate. I don't use that type of language, but he didn't take it very kindly because I was an assistant coach.
Webb wants to go to the air, has Dean Johnson open. He was looking to make his move. What happened is he saw P.J. Thomas running up to tackle him, and he was going to make a quick little dart inside Thomas and head for the end zone. And with the stellar game that he's had, he's probably thinking, doggone it, that could have been the icing on the cake, and I let that one fall out of my hands. So 2nd and 10, North High.
That's going to be interesting. And good chance Barber player of the game will be Julian Dean Johnson. I'm going to have to go down there and shake his hand. I want to see how big his hands are. He's fumbling the ball and drops a few passes. Hold on to the rock.
Well, here he is on the run, and now he cuts up. Oh, Kern County. His hands are big enough. His hands are big enough.
Out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
He's down. Julian Dean Johnson down after another near touchdown run. He goes out of bounds. He's either cramping or he pulled a muscle, and the players are already running away from him, so he must have said, I'm all right, I'm all right, I'm all right. But as we see, Paul, he doesn't need much room at all. He's got traffic all around here. He makes one cut, missed tackle there, whoa, and then he's gone. And we thought he was in the end zone, but he gets out of bounds right about here. Didn't need to go out of bounds either. He just did.
No.
He just did.
It looked like he pulled up right there, and then he kind of made a quick right and stepped out of bounds. Looked like he pulled up and he stepped out of bounds, and at that point, the South High player was chasing him down. Looked like Shannon James was chasing him, and it looked like he pulled up and then stepped out of bounds about the 2 or 3 yard line.
Brian Adams, what do you see down there, Brian, as you're watching this replay?
Well, Vance, we were looking at on the replay. It looked like he might have came up just a little bit gimpy on his knee, but I just want to see the replay here because usually he's going to take off and keep going. It's not like this young man to start just going to the sideline. Yeah, he wound up.
Oh, maybe a little hyperextension there on the left.
That's
knee.
what it looked like.
Well, Brian, is Coach Bolton already looking at this young 34? He knows he's only a junior, right? He knows he's only a junior.
Well, he was the one of the kids that BHS was high on a few years back on the freshman team. He was making big runs like that, and he's now going to North High. But the kid has a lot of potential and a lot of heart.
Thank you, Brian. Well, it'll be 1st and goal from the 7-yard line, so North High School knocking on the door. 4:24 left in the 3rd quarter. This game was swimming along nicely, but then we had somewhat of a discombobulated 2 or 3 minutes there with some calls and some officiating being argued by some of the coaching staff, and that was not a pretty look there by Webb as he tried to get it to Northrop again. That'll bring up a 2nd and goal from the 7.
Yeah, if I was North High here, and I wouldn't be throwing the ball too much. I think I'd just go ahead and give it to one of my backs, somebody there in Northrop coming around, or just let Webb keep it himself. Take your pick. Seth, number 25, he's doing a great job tonight.
Ball up the middle. Who's that? It's got to be Vlock, and it is, but he gets hard, and South High School not giving up. Love it, love it. They're still hitting hard. They're still driving, The clock will go below the 4-minute mark here in the 3rd quarter. We still have another quarter of football for you in the high school football game of the week. And it is 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. Or was that Julian Dean Johnson? I thought that was Vlock.
Yeah, it was Vlock. Johnson's back in the game.
Oh, sorry, Paul.
That's all right.
So Julian Dean Johnson back in the football game. Good news for North High School. It's North High School next week has a contest against Ridgeview at home. Julian Dean Johnson is back up, and he's looking as good as ever. In the end zone, touchdown North High, 32-7.
He really looked fast right then. Maybe he just needed a breather or a splash of water, but I don't know, man. He really looked fast. He hit that corner, and that's the fastest he's looked all night.
Touchdown North High, and it looks as if it's slipping away from the Rebels. Still another quarter and 3 minutes left to go, but at this point, North High School looks strong, and I think this is a very, very important game for their confidence and momentum going into the back stretch of the season. They have Ridgeview next week, and then they have a huge game against Centennial, and a home game against West, and the two-point conversion is good. North High School has not kicked the PAT. They have not kicked the field goal. This offense generates so much yardage that a 2-yard gain, a 3-yard gain is just commonplace for them, so it probably fits their profile.
Yeah, and in the points situation, and they're looking to go too, and you know, their kicker seems to be all right. You know, he kicks the ball fairly straight and it's up there, but you're right, Vance. When you can get 2 or 3 yards on every play, running the ball like they're doing right now, you know, might as well get 2 points instead of 1. I mean, I'll take $2 instead of 1. Or
just because it happens to be a 2-point conversion, it doesn't really change the look of the team, you know.
No.
34-7 is the score. You're watching High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you by CSUB Athletics, the law offices of Young and Nichols, Bakersfield College, Flashco, and Barber Honda. Pleasure to have you with us on a breezy, chilly October night. Paul, I think tomorrow night, get the fireplace going. A movie night with the kids. Why not?
I'm looking forward to that.
North High School, a little bit of 8-iron. Let's a little pitch and run. Oh, Romero almost cut one back up. So that'll bring South High out on a 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
Well, South High is going to have to open it up in full throttle from here on out if they have any hope of, you know, catching these North High Stars and trying to get up there and trying to steal this in the last play of the game. But they're going to have to open it up and go. And I'd like to see him try to get the ball in Roland Meyer's hands, but out in the open field somewhere.
I formation for Ramos. Hands the ball off to Myers. Myers doesn't get much, maybe a yard, 2 yards. And Roland Myers in our CSUB Athletics pregame show, we talked about him on both sides of the football, and he's delivered. This is one tough kid, Kern County, number 30, Roland Myers. He's a 6'2", 200-pound tight end, running back, linebacker. And if I was a junior college or a Division II school, or even a nice Division I school here in the area, I'd be looking at that young player right there.
Yeah, he looks good. He looks like an athlete. Just need to utilize him, get him the ball out here.
Nice play. Wow. And we do get a penalty. A late hit by North High School, and that pitch and catch out there to James Armenta will net them another 15 yards. So as you see here, Armenta tries to get out of bounds, and as you can see, Kern County, he is down right about here. The play starts to get whistled, and then wham! You can see the whistle being blown by the official as they come in and hammer him. And with all the grief that he's been getting from that South High sideline, I think that was a slam dunk call.
Yeah, I think if he didn't throw the flag on that one.
Let's be clear here. It was a late hit. But
it was a late hit. But I think you try to make peace sometime.
He was reaching for that flag. 1st and 10, look at this. Rebels at the North High School 48-yard line. One of the oldest rivalries in Kern County, the 47th time that this rivalry has taken place. The series is 22-22 and 2 ties, so Ramos has a lot of time, but now he runs out of time and he's thrown for a loss. A nice tackle back there by, of course, Ruben Suarez. So Suarez comes in and makes the sack.
We're watching right here, as we can see on this Flashco replay. What happens there is he drops back and he's looking, But North High, their linebackers did a great job of getting depth on that pass coverage. They were in a zone coverage, and their linebackers really dropped and filled all the passing lanes. Did an excellent job. I saw the same thing Ramos saw, and there was no passing lanes. Those linebackers, boy, I don't know who the linebacker coach is here at North High, but good job, coach, in teaching these kids how to drop and open and get to their spots, because they did a great job.
2nd and 17. Fakes the inside handoff. Ramos on a keeper, cuts up. Nice bit of running. North High School can really bring it, though. They hit hard.
40-yard line by North.
They enjoy playing some hard-nosed football.
You know, it's funny that you say that. You know, during the week I was here at North High, and then tonight, before the game, I went down and was watching South High warm up and was talking. Both coaches said the same thing. Well, Press, you know, my team just likes to hit. We're going to come out, we're going to hit, and they like to hit, and boy, they are. Both teams are really laying some leather tonight.
Assistant coaches, since you asked, Paul Press, Cy Silver and Dan Walters. I coached Cy Silver in basketball at North High School here when I did a little bit of an internship with head coach Gary Saddam, who was my high school basketball coach at Arvin. I took a break from the cruise ships, and I think it was, I don't know, let's say 94. Hung out with Coach Saddam and coached the North High School Stars, and we had Cy Silver playing for us.
Yeah.
And,
well,
good stuff. Hey, everybody, don't forget, TBS in HD is the premier destination for top-rated lineup comedy programming. It serves as home to such hot contemporary comedies as Sex and the City, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Family Guy, and blockbuster movies and hosted movie showcases. Remember to get TBS in HD. You customers need an HD TV and an HD receiver, so TBS in HD on Bright House Networks Bakersfield. One connection, endless possibilities. 3rd and 12 for South High School. This third quarter has gone longer, I think, the entire first half. We still have another quarter of football to play, 34-7. South High School taking care of business on this drive at least, trying to get closer to the end zone. Ramos takes the handoff. He wants to go up the middle again. They tried this a couple times, and it just didn't happen. And this time he's hit hard by Kenneth Liggett. Kenneth Liggett in there on the hit.
Kenneth Liggett, that's one of the linebackers I was just talking so highly about. That was 55 who stopped he didn't stop the pass per se as slapping the ball down earlier, but he had such a great job. He did such a great job of dropping and taking away that passing lane that, man, he's playing really good. I mean, Kenneth Liggett just doing it right tonight, playing well.
4th and 10, South's going to go for it. They fake the handoff. He's going to put the ball in the air. Nice pass from Ramos. Hey, first down. And, of course, caught out there by the sure-handed James Armenta. Armenta's, I think, caught every pass that's been, every reception's been from him tonight. Armenta, again, with a nice catch out there. And he started at QB tonight, so nice first down for the Rebels.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the South High Rebels play next week with Ramos having a full week of practice and Armenta getting to go back out to the receiver. You can just see how much better they're getting just in a little bit of time tonight.
1st and 10, last play of the third quarter. Ramos runs to his right. He's in trouble. Oh, 2 North High players knocked into themselves. Ramos still up there, and that ends the third quarter. 34-7, North High over South, but South knocking on the door. Back in a moment with the fourth quarter high school football game of the week.
For over 3 decades, Flashco has been the local equipment company in Kern County. From major job sites to weekend projects, Flashco is the contractor's choice for equipment rental or purchase. We're also sign specialists using cutting-edge technology to create high-quality custom signage for anything. We're also the #1 local supplier of traffic control equipment, including signs, barricades, safety equipment, and more. Plus, our skilled mechanics will repair any make or model of heavy equipment. Flashco, we'll take care of it.
Finding an attorney can be an intimidating process.
When you hire an attorney, you're looking for 3 things: trust, respect, results.
At Young & Nichols, we deliver all three. Let our experienced attorneys get the best results for you.
We'll always respect you and give your case the attention it deserves.
And we're professionals you can trust.
We're here, we care, always for the people.
Welcome back to the high school football game of the week, fourth quarter. South High School on the 21-yard line, knocking at the door. In between the break, Brian Adams, Paul Press, kind of going back and forth on some football trivia. And during the fourth quarter, I'm going to get some input from Brian and Paul. Now Brian Adams manning the camera. I don't know if we can get a shot of that in between plays, but handoff goes up the middle. South High School trying to make it happen. And Kern County, here's a good look at our next cameraman, Brian Adams. Let's see what Brian, hey, there's your shot, Brian. Well, perfect. Shine it directly into the light. There you go.
Wow. Is there anything Brian Adams can do?
Look at his grip on that thing, man.
Those are the hands that caught all those footballs.
That is a CIF all-area grip right there.
Oh, wow.
3rd and 4.
Well,
34-7 the score. In the shotgun, South High School sees the blitz, and there it is. Ooh, boy, Liggett comes in uncontested, and a big-time sack on Ramos. Oh, boy. Well, South was making progress, Paul, and that big sack from the middle. Look at this. Pow!
He came untouched. And right there, you know, that's a great defensive call. Good call by the North High coaching staff. But I tell you, the South High offensive line, young men, you got to get your head up.
Look at this, Kern County.
You've got to be able to see that.
Is that brain cam? Brian Cam. So Brian Adams looking to become a more versatile Bright House Networks production crew member. 4th and 6. South High School. Ramos goes to his left, has a man open, has to pull it up, and he gets hammered and thrown down for about a 10-yard loss. So that'll be 1st and 10 for the North High School Stars, and a series that had a little bit of promise in there comes to an end. 1st and 10 North High School.
Yeah, I think Kenneth Liggett just had enough. He said, you know what, you've moved the ball far enough, and I think the last 3 tackles, he's been there. I mean, he's playing really well. That series right there, he just put a stop to it. Good job at linebacker there. And they reward him. He gets to go out now and get a breather. He was playing offense. Like I said, South High and North High, maybe 2 kids come in and out. Other than that, it's been the same 11 guys on the field, both sides.
Travis Gifford now playing quarterback for North, and his first play in, he gets walloped down there. He takes a big hit by Fernando Gutierrez, and here you see Gifford on his first play from scrimmage. Watch this hit from behind. Pow!
Yeah. Coach Camps, you know, this is smart. Get your junior quarterback, get him a little bit of playing time here at homecoming, get him some game experience when you can.
2nd and 9. Handoff goes to the right side. Vlock with the carry. Vlock gets about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and approximately 5 yards. Next week, don't forget, everybody, Highland High School will be the destination. The contest will be between the Highland Scots and the Foothill Trojans. Our Brian Adams will be on the field. I don't know if he'll be manning the camera, but that's why he's manning the camera. Travis and Carlos looking as if Tyler and Carlos looking as if they haven't eaten in, I don't know, about 40 minutes.
They're just destroying that food.
Our Bright House production crew doesn't want for meals. Nice play from the line of scrimmage, and that's a 1st down, I believe. A really nice run by Julian Dean Johnson again. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Dean Johnson. That's Sam Music. The public address announcer and myself both thought that was Dean Johnson. So, nice play, Paul.
Yeah.
1st and 10, North High School. North High School has done a very, very good job of moving the football tonight on the ground. They haven't thrown it a lot. They haven't needed to, and they just, speaks volumes of this coaching staff continuing to work their offense without having to kind of throw a mixed bag of stuff at them. They just keep working it. So, and it looks as if now they're going to have a timeout call of all things with a 34-7 lead, a timeout. So Travis Gifford didn't see anything he liked out there, maybe a little bit of confusion. So a timeout on the play, on the field. Well, Brian Adams gives up the camera. Brian, let's talk a little bit about this season so far. Brad Riddle, the Bakersfield, California, last week had a quote in there that looks like Centennial is the class of the county down here. Liberty starting to get their groove. Bakersfield High School always a threat any Friday night. Brian Adams, your take on the 07 season?
Well, so far I think he has to be talking about the Centennial comeback. That the big jump from last year. They had the one loss. They had an opportunity to win that game in the end. They've been dominant on both sides of the ball, and and let's be honest, they have great coaching, and the kids are bought into Coach Nixon's system, and they also have fabulous players led by Xander Fabry. BHS, they're still in the mix right there. They're going to probably battle Liberty for the league championship.
Thank you, Brian. Gifford hands. South High School picks up the fumble, and that, was a timeout that was called so they could kind of get in sync, and Paul Press, it didn't happen.
No, you can see he probably doesn't get too many reps during practice, and there it is, ill-advised pitch right there, and it looks like he was pitching with his left hand and doesn't get a whole lot of practice probably doing that. So.
Nice fumble recovery for the Rebels, and now they have the football on the North High 29-yard line. So with just over 8 minutes left to go in the football game, South High might have a chance to get back in the end zone. Ooh, it's getting chilly up here, Paul Press.
Yeah, it is. And we're in a pretty good spot, though.
Ramos underthrows, and it is intercepted. That was underthrown, and it didn't take much for Aaron Young to just kind of stand there and let it fall in his hands. So we've had a lot of turnovers this game, a lot of fumbles. That was a really underthrown ball, as you can see. It didn't take much. All it had to do was kind of just come down, and Young was sitting there waiting for it. So interception for Young. He gets a flash goal replay, and now comes right back to where the they must have called. What happened?
I didn't see. They must have called the.
Did he drop it?
They signaled there, and then it must have been a
2nd and 10.
Wow, he must
have
dropped it.
They said they dropped it. Fumble! Oh, another fumble. 2 fumbles on the same play. It was picked up by a North High School player, and he fumbles it. So I think we've had 19 fumbles in this football game tonight, and it's not wet. It's just that's just the way it goes tonight, everybody. Watch this. Here's fumble number 1.
All right, here. Oops.
Bad exchange. Man, didn't have his hands ready. And then he gets picked up by
right there.
Tanner Webb. Webb, of all people, the quarterback, drops it. Then he gets collected down there by, and I didn't get his number because he
and then we have
was
a scrum.
dogpiled. So after all that, it's 3rd and 24. Oh, they didn't give. Oh, goodness.
No,
it should be a first down. Now, Ramos gets thrown down. And so the South High School staff is looking at each other saying, wait a second, it was picked up by Webb.
They're going to say what they're saying is Webb never had control.
Well,
so it's just one big.
Here's our flash goal replay, Paul.
Right here.
So here's the handoff that's missed, and then you see
right
Tanner
there.
Webb right here.
Grabs
he picks it up.
Never gets his other foot down.
Very good. Good call. Good call, fellas. Nice call. He didn't have control of it, so it's just a very big loss for South High.
Yeah, and they're right on top of it. Good job by the officials. KCOA, Kern County Official Association. If anybody out there is listening and you are interested in becoming an official, please get hold of KCOA. Basketball is coming very soon. Baseball, softball is just around the corner. Just depending on, who knows, I might be behind the plate this year. High school baseball. I've been an official before. I may have to come out of retirement and call a few games this year.
Brian Adams working the basketball games. Ramos has his man open, Hey, look at this. Nice play. Good play. Blaine Davidson on the reception. First down, South High School. Paul Press, your take on the 07 season so far?
Well, I agree. I think I'm said it publicly. I was very impressed with Coach Nixon over at Centennial. I think his play calling is second to none right now. He's really on. And Bivens over there, I think, is a surprise. Not that I'm surprised by his performance, but he has really turned out to be a very, very good quarterback. And he's really grown up and really taken leadership role. I still think BHS is dangerous. It has a real good shot. And Liberty has so many weapons, you can't count them out.
Nice pitch out to the left side, and that's Levi Chavez. He picks up about 8 yards.
You know, that's just Division I. Let's not forget about East High. East High only has 1 loss, and they play in Division III, I believe. So, or no, Division II, excuse me. They're a Division II team, so they have a good shot of, you know, I really believe Bakersfield has a shot of winning a couple of Valley titles this year, Division I, Division II, and Division III.
Hopefully
Tehachapi, the way they're playing.
Hopefully we'll have a Valley Championship home in the city. Bright House Networks will be able to cover it because it'll be a busy time of year with Bakersfield Jam and the Condors and Cal State. A lot happening at that time of year. Handoff goes up the middle, hangs on to it. Nice couple of big hits in there, but the Rebels pick up the first down. It'll be first and goal from about the 8-yard line. Clock continues to tick. We'll go below the 6-minute mark here in the 4th and final quarter. You've been watching High School Football Game of the Week tonight on Bright House Networks Bakersfield, Kern County Sports Vision. And it is a first and goal from, oh, sorry, they took it back. I thought I saw one official say first down.
You did.
Oh, man.
One official did say that.
Third and 1. I formation, the pitch, Chavez. He'll have the first down and maybe more. Touchdown, South High. Flag on the play. It's going to be against South High, I believe. It is against South High School. And I believe that Tanner Webb, the quarterback for the North High Stars, now that he's on defense, he got worked over there. You'll see him being right there on the ground. He was manhandled by a couple of Rebels, and I think they just threw him down and stayed on him.
Yeah,
and,
they tackled him. They were so used to him carrying the ball, they tackled him there. They forgot they had the ball. They didn't block. They pretty much wrapped him up and tackled him out there, and that was a pretty obvious call. When you're out, you're one of the lead blockers outside the tackles, and you're running a toss play, which South High just ran. And you got to watch where your hands are at. You can't really grab around.
Well, that makes it a 3rd and 8 now. 3rd and 8 from the 17-yard line. I formation. Fakes the pitch. Ramos hit hard, and he is leveled out there. A big hit by Jared Odell. Odell lays him out, and one thing we do not see on the football field at this time is Roland Myers. Roland Myers not on the field for the Rebels. He's had a long night, and he is not playing at this time. Late in the game, Rebels down by 24, and Coach Wren choosing to keep his talented, multi-position player on the sidelines. 4th and 8 now for the Rebels.
Yeah, I'm curious to why he's on the sideline.
Might be banged up.
Maybe he doesn't look like he's hurting. I mean, he's standing there behind the coaches on the sideline, and let's hope he's not banged up.
Ramos has a little time, floats it up there, and it's intercepted. And did he attempt to come out? No. Touchback. 1st and 10, North High School.
Well, he would like to run it out, as we see right here. He goes up high, a little overthrow, but goes up high.
He was.
And then all of a sudden he decides to come out. Well, maybe I will. And then all of a sudden he gets leg whipped there and taken down. So then he just, no, I wasn't coming out. I'll take that touchback. And that was Daniel Terry with the interception going up high. Daniel Terry, a senior here at North High. And it's always nice to get an interception your senior year at homecoming.
Sure is. 34-7, North High School, I would think, will grind this clock out and keep that ball on the ground. It goes up the middle, And it is carried by Sam Music. He's wrapped up. Let's talk a little bit of NFL here, fellas. A little NFL. The Oakland Raiders, 2-2. Should be 3-1. Should be 3-1. But Shanahan froze Janikowski. Raiders should be 3-1. They're 2-2. The Patriots look unstoppable.
Yeah.
Dolphins hurting. Cowboys look like as good as they can get. Tony Romo and Brett Favre, 4-0. The Packers. What a year in the NFL.
Brett Favre, love him.
Brian Adams, NFL thoughts?
Not really, Vance.
Thank you, Brian. 3rd and 10.
My Chargers. I'm very sad about my Chargers this year. I was all excited. And, my wife says, "You know what, honey? You've been such a good husband. You know what?
You've been such a good
husband lately.
Good husband. Good husband. Good husband.
We need to go to a Charger game." So we get all excited. Oh, she's going on the internet, shopping around, going to get us some tickets and everything. And they're just not winning.
Man,
I'm just like, wow, do I really want to spend that money and go down there and they're not winning?
Hey, did you hear the other day all the Charger fans were chanting Marty. That was heavy, man. That was heavy. Hey, penalty flag. Took a little bit too much time to get that play off, and that stops the game at exactly 4 minutes. 4 minutes on the dot. Brian Adams giving me nothing for NFL discussions. He said, actually.
Man, I'm not a big NFL guy, I like the college scene.
I hear you, Brian. Indianapolis Colts. Our director, Bernie Johnson, wants a little bit of Colts love. Hey, what can you say? Fumble! Still on the ground. Fumble! Wow. Shabe Williams gets the recovery. 1st and 10, Stockdale.
Wow.
South High.
It starts with an S. It's all right.
Wow. I don't think he was even going for the ball, but Williams comes up with it. I don't know if we have we don't have a statistician up here with us, but I honestly think that is the double-digit fumble right there.
It has to be.
I think that's our 10th fumble.
Well, it's a little too cold, or I'd take my shoes off and count.
Oh, boy.
But it's too cold for me to take my shoes off to count tonight. Because I have to take my shoes off to count up all the fumbles.
Has a way of keeping track of these things. I think it's our double-digit fumble. And here comes South. Ball gets to the 14-yard line. The score 34-7. Clock continues to tick. The Barber Honda Player of the Game. I think it's a unanimous decision. Shall I just say the name, fellas? Julian Dean Johnson, number 34 for the North High Stars. He's had over 200 yards rushing, a couple of long touchdowns, and put this game out of reach essentially early in the football game. So Brian Adams will be presenting the Barber Honda Player of the Game award to Julian Dean Johnson. Congratulations to that junior. Look at South High School trying to get in, and they do. What a nice run. What a nice play. Touchdown, Rebels.
Well, that's good for the South High Rebels offense. Finally get a score in. The other score came
looks
on
like
a
he's a little
special team.
gimpy as he comes up, but the touchdown goes to South High's Fernando Gutierrez, and he's a little dinged up, but that's a nice run, and the South High cheerleaders running to the end zone. They're running to the end zone. Gutierrez battles, and I think as we see Roland Myers over by the training table, Paul, he might be a little dinged up, and that's why he's not been back in the ball game. His helmet is off, and the kick is up. The kick is good, so 34-14. South High School gets in the end zone. What a nice touchdown for the Rebels and Gutierrez. All right, here's the South High cheerleaders on our Flash Go replay.
Well,
whoa.
Wow.
Ladies.
Oh.
Ladies. Hey. All right. Congratulations. Here's our Flash Go replay touchdown. Nice hard run right here, but Gutierrez right here, torn jersey and all, and he lowers the boom, and nice touchdown run, Paul. That's nice.
Yeah, it looks like you got a little Charlie there. got banged right in the thigh there. Should have the thigh pads on there, but it may have squeaked right by there. But that was a good hard run. He's, as we said, sniffed the goal line and slammed it in there. So good for the South High offense. And I really think, you know, if you went to South High, go check them out. This offense, even though that's the first time they scored tonight, for me, from the first play to this play, you know, the last few drives, their offense is starting to click, and with a full week of practice with their starting quarterback, I think they're going to do just fine. Pick up maybe 1 or 2 wins in league, hopefully, and see what happens.
Onside kick, it's a bullet, and it's scooped up out there, and it went through the hands of Raymond Ibarra, but then it's finally collected by Nathan Vlock. So Vlock falls on it. 3 minutes and 9 seconds left in this football game. First and 10 for the South High Rebels. Sorry, North High School Stars. I was looking at South when I said that. So North will have it at their own 44-yard line.
Well, I keep looking out, and I see that red 77 for North High, and I keep looking at thinking that's Lake Terrell. Last year we were watching number 77 for the North High Stars, Lake Terrell, and he was dominant.
Got confusion here from North High School. Got players running on at the last second. Handoff. Looks like a nice running play there, and it's going to be handled by Aaron Young. So Aaron Young will collect the first down. Another reminder, we'll be up at Highland next week, so the Highland Scots will be hosting the Foothill Trojans. Look forward to that game. It's always a nice spot up there at the top of the hill and the top of the press box and overlooking the whole city. First and 10. Handoff comes around the corner. Music on the carry.
Now, speaking of next week, you know, I talked about Anthony Johnson for Highland Scots. He's exciting. We'll get to see him play at all different positions, returning and stuff. But we're going to see another great running back next week, Eric Jones at Foothill.
EJ.
Yeah, this kid can really play. He can run, and it's going to be exciting to watch him. And then they have Davenport, the receiver. He's an excellent receiver over there, so should be a spectacular game.
Senior quarterback for the Highland Scots, Ernst, will be throwing the football.
I had a chance to work with Cody this summer, and he's really developed and turned into a good quarterback. And
high-ranking quarterback.
Yeah, you know, first few weeks he was at the top central section. He was leading the central section here in passing yards the first few weeks, and then one off week in this county, and whew, man, you drop. But he's picked it right back up and has done pretty well.
An official's timeout. It's so close that they may be looking at a measurement here to see if they get the first down. And that gives us an opportunity to show you our Bright House production crew all around the North High School grounds. Bernie Johnson, our director in the truck, he's joined by, well, first of all, let's go with, here's Kevin. Kevin is up in the Flashco scissor lift. Kevin looks as if hey, there's Ray right there. Ray's right next to us. Hi, Ray. There he is, Kern County. Carlos Anguiano right there on the left, and he's got Tyler next to him. Tyler, by the way, will not be with us in a few weeks. Bakersfield High School homecoming. We're not going to have Dante with some more FaceTime. Dante's getting some serious FaceTime here on Bright House Networks. Thank you, Dante. Oh, the goatee. Third and one officially. They did not get the first down. And Gifford on a keeper, and he gets the first down. Nice play. So it'll be first and 10 for North High School. Who else do we have, Bernie? Let's go inside the truck, and this is the heartbeat, the pulse of the. There's Zach. There's one of our directors, Zach Flores, who obviously is a little bit over-elated to be on camera.
Wow.
Zach runs our Damage TV, and he also did a heck of a job editing and putting together the Kevin Harvick footage for Kevin Harvick night. Thank you, Zach, and we certainly appreciate that cameo sticking out of the truck. Thank you, Zach. Goodness gracious.
we don't have any fun doing these.
No, Director Bernie
Man,
Johnson trying to keep some sense of sanity amongst the production crew at the end of a long week. Oh boy, who are these guys? Hey, Paul Press. Oh, don't get nervous, Paul. Don't get nervous, Paul. I mean, you've done a halftime interview. Everybody, it's my buddy Paul Press.
Oh, they see me with my glasses on now and really know that I'm blind and I have to wear my glasses when I'm up here so I can see my notes. And
2nd and 6, North High School with $1:05 left in this football game. The handoff goes to Vlock up the middle. Vlock trying to get in the end zone. He'll get another first down. This clock will continue to tick. And, of course, we have in the truck with us Steve Menchaca, Super Sammy Bowman, and our director, Bernie Johnson. Thank you, Bernie, for another great job tonight. We have Bakersfield Condors coming up soon. Tony Ombris will direct that. Cal State University Bakersfield basketball, Zach will be directing that, and the Bakersfield Jam will be directed by Bernie Johnson. So we're really stretching it out here. He'll go down on a knee, so it looks as if the final score will be 34-14. 34-14. So now the clock will continue to tick, and it's homecoming for North High School in a long, long rivalry. The award is the sword, and it will go to North High School as they defeat the Rebels 34-14. On behalf of myself and Paul up here, I'm Vance Palm. It's been a pleasure having you here. We're going to go down to the field in just a moment after the break. And Paul, that young man right there is, I think, just having a blast. That's it. The football game's over. Back in a moment, we will have Brian Adams presenting Julian Dean Johnson with the Barber Honda Player of the Game. We'll see you next week as Highland hosts Foothill. The rivalry continues, but it's now 23-22-2. North High wins.
Imagine a moment where you didn't have to think about gas prices. We did at Barber Honda. And now, for a limited time only, get incredible clearance offers on all new remaining 2007 Honda models, including the new Honda Accord. And all your other favorite Honda models, in stock and ready to drive home. You've been thinking about it. Now's the time to do it. The 2007 clearance event at Barber Honda, 4500 Wyville Road, at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Coming to the Doré Theater at Cal State Bakersfield, the legendary Kay Akagi, the artist who made jazz history with Miles Davis, Al Di Meola, and Stanley Turrentine, will bring his piano trio for this Legends of Jazz concert. Don't miss Kay Akagi at 8 o'clock Friday, October 12th at Cal State.
For over 3 decades, Flashco has been the local equipment company in Kern County. From major job sites to weekend projects, Flashco is the contractor's choice for equipment rental or purchase. We're also sign specialists using cutting-edge technology to create high-quality custom signage for anything. We're also the #1 local supplier of traffic control equipment, including signs, barricades, safety equipment, and more. Plus, our skilled mechanics will repair any make or model of heavy equipment. Flashco, we'll take care of it.
The Barber Honda Player of the Game.
We're here at the Barber Honda Player of the Game presentation, where we've seen the North High Stars retain the sword in the Battle of South High, and no player was shining brighter tonight than the star to my right, Julian Dean Johnson. Julian, before we make the presentation, we'll talk a little bit about your game tonight. Had a big 94-yard run. You were able to break some other big runs. Let's tell us about your impact and what you're trying to do with this team this year.
When I first came here, my coach wanted to give me the ball more, and so I can start running more to make a big impact on the team. So he was trying to give me the ball a lot, but I kept fumbling, and so I tried to redeem myself by making big runs and stuff.
Talk a little bit about your offensive line tonight. They did a great job, in my opinion, opening up some holes for you and giving you an opportunity. Tell us a little bit about your offensive line.
The offensive line, at first they started slow, but as we kept practicing, going over blocking assignments, they got better. And so they opened holes for me, and I give the credit to offensive line.
It's a great job tonight. We're going to come in, seeing the end of this run right here for you. We're going to come in and we're going to make our presentation with Sam. Sam, it's always a pleasure to have you from Barber Honda. Please make the presentation to Julian Johnson, please.
Well, joining on behalf of Bright House Networks and Barber Honda, we congratulate you on a great game. It was a monster effort. Some awards for you from the both of us, and keep up the good work. It's always exciting to come out and watch these games every week. It's a great effort. Congratulations.
And Julian, congratulations. You and I know each other, go way back. I'm really proud of you to see you out here. Had a great game. Good luck the rest of the season. Next week, we will be at Highland High School, where the Foothill Trojans are coming over to Highland to see two great players next week. So good night, and see you next week.
Bakersfield, are you ready for game day? The CFCB Roadrunners are ready to take on all new NCAA Division I opponents. This is runner basketball like never before. Buy season tickets today beginning at just $100 for a full season of D1 hoops against teams like Oregon State, Utah State, San Jose State, Fresno State, UOP, Long Beach State, Pepperdine, and more. Go to GoRunners.com for a full schedule or call 654-BLUE to reserve your seats for this historic Roadrunner basketball season. Get ready for a fun and exciting season of runner hoops.
When you get injured, you may be facing an insurance company that has a lot of money to fight your case.
You need a lawyer on your side who's willing to fight the insurance companies and take your case to trial.
If you've suffered serious injuries in an accident, don't let them make you a victim twice.
At Young & Nichols, we've got the experience to take your case all the way.
I'm Steve Nichols.
I'm Thomas Thrill.
And you have our word. We're always for the people.
We're here, we care, always for the people.
Imagine a moment where you didn't have to think about gas prices. We did at Barber Honda. And now, for a limited time only, get incredible clearance offers on all new remaining 2007 Honda models, including the new Honda Accord. And all your other favorite Honda models, in stock and ready to drive home. You've been thinking about it. Now's the time to do it. The 2007 clearance event at Barber Honda, 4500 Weibel Road, at the entrance to the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
For over 3 decades, Flashco has been the local equipment company in Kern County. From major job sites to weekend projects, Flashco is the contractor's choice for equipment rental or purchase. We're also sign specialists using cutting-edge technology to create high-quality custom signage for anything. We're also the #1 local supplier of traffic control equipment, including signs, barricades, safety equipment, and more. Plus, our skilled mechanics will repair any make or model of heavy equipment. Flashco, we'll take care of it.
This has been an exclusive presentation of Bright House Networks.